Your Honor, this is case number 299 on the calendar in the matter of Whiting versus Lazzarini. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mr. Whiting, I assume this is your daughter.
Yes, it is.
What is her first name?
Amanda.
And this is Amanda's boyfriend. And Mr. Whiting, not that it's terribly important to this whole proceeding, but I gather that Amanda and Nick are still a couple, is that right?
Yes.
And you're not crazy about him.
They've been together a good long time, and I just don't think that he has her best interests at heart.
Okay, so you're not crazy about him. We don't make those decisions for our children. They make them themselves.
Absolutely.
It is your claim that your daughter borrowed your car, and she was driving the car, and because of Mr. Lazzarini's actions, the transmission on the car was broken. You want him to pay for the replaced transmission on the car. Mr. Lazzarini seems to say that his hand slipped. The car was old, couldn't have caused that kind of damage to the car. He was willing to make some sort of payment, but certainly he wasn't giving you a totally rebuilt car. That's your
Correct.
defense. Okay, Amanda, step up. I got a few questions for you. How long have you and Nick been dating?
2.5 years.
How old are you?
22.
Who do you work for?
I'm a personal assistant to a composer musician.
Nick, what kind of work do you do?
I'm a law student, first-year law student at Loyola.
You love her?
Yeah, very much.
Mr. Whiting, because I am basically a little bit of a meddler, why don't you think he has her best interests at heart, sir?
Well, in this particular instance, he's had her put in the middle between this. We have not been able to come to any kind of resolution, which I was
Other
trying to
than
do.
this, you mean before this incident happened with the car, everything was okay? You liked him?
I really didn't know him that much because I'd only met him 4 or 5 times over the 2 years because he'd been in school.
Seems like a nice enough man.
Nice enough.
Okay, so Amanda, tell me what happened with the car. You borrowed your father's car, you were driving.
Yeah, I was driving down from Northern California, and
Nick was the passenger.
Nick was the passenger, and he leaned over to tickle me because we were joking around, and his hand pumped the transmission shifter. Now, the shifter was on my side, but the way he reached over, he hit it on the way back, and the car, like, it's not supposed to do that. We all agree that it's not supposed to go in reverse, but this time
But it went
did.
in reverse, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
So he leaned over to tickle you because you were messing around with each other while you were driving.
Yeah.
Now, before he reached over to tickle you, did you reach over to tickle him?
I poked him
Poked him. Where did you poke him?
on the shoulder.
How'd you do that? Show me on your father how you did that. Come on. And what did you say to him when you poked him?
I didn't say anything. We were just talking and joking about...
And then he leaned over to tickle you. And that's when the car went into reverse.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you'd stop the car and the car wouldn't go into reverse.
Right.
So that was not coincidental. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in law school, are you in your first year? You haven't taken torts yet?
I'm taking torts,
You
correct.
take torts now. Torts means negligence. You understand that.
Yeah.
Something,
We
when
just started.
accidents happen. Right?
Yeah, we just started negligence, actually.
Just started torts. You remember the first case that you read in torts?
First one was actually Garrett v. Daly.
Have you read Palsgraf versus the Long Island Railroad?
20 pages ahead, my dad was showing me today.
Excuse me?
It's about 20 pages ahead of where we are.
Well, Palsgraf versus the Long Island Railroad is the seminal case in the area of tort law.
Mm-hmm.
You would agree with that, wouldn't you?
My dad told me the same thing. He's a law.
Your dad is a smart guy. And Palsgraf deals with the issue of proximate cause. But for the actions of something, something else wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is that this was an old car.
Yeah.
And I didn't hit the stick that hard that it should have gone into reverse.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I did, car had 100,000 miles on it. It was an old car, so I shouldn't be charged with the entire amount to fix it.
Right.
By the way, how fast were you going when the car went into reverse?
75.
75 miles an hour. And how long did it take the car to stop? How many seconds would you say?
The car didn't stop. It just kept going.
It just kept going
Yeah.
while it was in reverse?
Yeah.
For how long?
Until I put it back into drive, and it still kept
And
going.
how long did that take?
About 30 seconds, 20 seconds.
1, 2, 3. You getting my drift?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
maybe it should have been serviced better.
It would
I
matter.
wouldn't have gotten...
It wouldn't matter. It
Listen
would
to
have been a
me.
completely different story.
It wouldn't have made any difference that day if you hadn't been tickling Amanda.
And later today,
I moved out because I started feeling really threatened for my life. Pablo began to play with his guns. He owned several different weapons, and he began to play with them in my presence.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Daniel Whiting says his daughter's boyfriend, Nicholas Lazzarini, owes for the cost of a new transmission. Daniel claims Nicholas knocked the vehicle into reverse while driving on the freeway.
Now, where were you going?
We were going from up north. I live in Sacramento, so we were driving from Sacramento down to L.A. She had picked me up.
And car drove fine.
Yeah.
The only intervening act that happened from the time you got into the car until the time the car no longer went into reverse was you tickling Amanda here and the car being put at 75 miles an hour into reverse and then continuing, according to Amanda, going forward while in reverse for between 20 and 30 seconds. That's the only intervening act.
Yes, correct.
As they say in France, I rest my case. Nick.
Yes.
It's your fault. Now, having determined that it's your fault, now we go to the issue of damages. Okay? There again, oh, I'm enjoying this. I can't tell you how I'm enjoying it. It's almost like a law school class. Now, Nick.
Yes.
So, because that's the way a trial is set up. First, you go to a civil trial,
right.
The issue of responsibility.
Right.
So I find that you are responsible.
Okay.
Now the issue is one of damages. Right. And then Mr. Whiting has an interesting, this is what happened. You go to take the car in to be fixed, and you get an estimate, and they say, well, for $2,800, I can rebuild the existing transmission. For $3,400, I can give you a rebuilt transmission with a warranty. And so you say, I think I'm smarter to put in the rebuilt condition transmission with a warranty, but I'm only going to charge Nick the $2,800 for the rebuilt transmission because I want a better transmission. He shouldn't have to pay for that. Nick says I shouldn't have to pay the $2,800, which was for the rebuilt transmission because
the transmission was significantly worn before Mandy had taken the car. And the reason I say that is because when we took the car in Sacramento to when we got to Los Angeles, there was no difference in the drive gears, no difference in the operation of the car other than the reverse gear. The reverse gear is listed on the invoice at $296, in addition to the fact that Mr. Whiting has failed to adequately maintain his car, and he created a situation that allowed this accident to happen in the first place by not having his car inspected at a transmission service station and not having the shift linkage examined.
Okay. So, then we reach another interesting analogy that I'm going to give you so that you will understand that a wrongdoer, that's you. You're the wrongdoer. I mean, you didn't kill anybody, but you're the wrongdoer. You're the tickler. You're the wrongdoer. Takes its victim as he finds it. I'm going to give you an analogy. Robert Robber sees an old lady walking towards the subway. He says, I'm going to grab her pocketbook. He grabs her pocketbook and pushes her. And Vera Victim falls down. When she falls down, she breaks her hip. And the reason she breaks her hip is because she has osteoporosis. The doctor told her last year, you better start taking some pills, because if you take pills, the osteoporosis will get better. Vera says, I don't want to take the pills. Vera breaks her hip, and within 3 months, she's dead. The district attorney charges Robert Robber with murder.
Correct.
He said, but for your actions, by knocking her down during the course of the robbery, she would be alive. Robert says it's not my fault that she's dead. It's because she didn't take her pills. His argument is he's not responsible. He knocked her down, and if she had had stronger bones, she wouldn't have broken her hip, and she would have had stronger bones if she took her Fosamax.
Right, but I would say
she didn't take her Fosamax. Nick, listen to me. You're not going to win this one, my dear.
Daniel Whiting says his daughter's boyfriend, Nicholas Lazzarini, owes for the cost of a new transmission. Daniel claims Nicholas knocked the vehicle into reverse while driving on the freeway.
Now, you take your victim as you find them. Sometimes we have healthy victims. Sometimes we have sick victims. In this case, you had a sick you had a sick victim. You had a sick transmission with 100,000 miles on it, and maybe it should have been serviced better. It wouldn't have gotten...
It wouldn't matter.
Listen to me.
It would have been a completely different story.
It wouldn't have made any difference that day if you hadn't been tickling Amanda. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,800. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I put in my initial email if he'd stepped up and we could have worked something out, but he didn't want to do that.
Mandy's father never made any offer less than me paying $2,000. I thought that was completely unacceptable.
I just want to say that I love my boyfriend and my parents very much, and this has been really hard for me.
I think it was really unfortunate for her. Her dad had used her against me a couple times during this whole thing, and I feel bad for her having to deal with that.
I want them both to win, and they can't. And so I just hope that it'll be all right.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Thompson, Alvarez versus Queller. Step forward, please.
20-year-old student Sarah Thompson and 21-year-old Pablo Alvarez are suing their former roommate, 22-year-old Brandy Queller, for unpaid rent. Brandy says she is terrified of Pablo and is countersuing for her moving expenses and medical bills.
Miss Thompson, according to what I read, you had an apartment that you shared with this gentleman and this gentleman?
Yes.
Just prior to your moving into the apartment, but after you signed the lease, you found out that you were accepted to a certain program abroad.
Yes.
And you agreed to sublet for, I believe, 3 months?
Yes.
To the defendant. And she was going to take over your room and pay $400 a month rent?
$550 per month.
Is that right?
Yes.
It is your claim that she did not pay the last month's rent. She moved out and didn't pay the last month's rent. And in addition, you say that while she was living there, she did have someone living in her room with her, a boyfriend, and she should have paid an extra
$400 total for the 2 months of double occupancy.
The defendant says that she was forced to move out because of the behavior of one of the roommates, and therefore she owes you nothing.
Yes, that's what she says.
You the boyfriend?
Yes, I am.
When did you move in?
We moved in
Stand
June.
up when you talk to me. Give me the date.
Sorry.
Give me the date.
June 2nd, I believe.
And can I see a copy of the lease?
Yes.
Okay, you agreed to pay an additional $200 for each month that you were there when someone else was living with you.
We had spoken about that when we first signed the lease. When I was reading it, I told her that Craig was going to be living with me. They all knew that ahead of time. And so I told her that I was uncomfortable signing that, saying that we need to pay additional money for another person. And she told me that her boyfriend had written up this contract and he'd gotten carried away because he's a law student, and he added that in. And then she changed the amount to $200 and asked me if that would make me feel more comfortable. And I asked her why we couldn't get rid of it altogether. And she told me that it shouldn't come up, it shouldn't be a problem, and she didn't expect the money from me up until now.
Did you say that to her?
I said that I was not comfortable taking that clause out of the lease because per our original lease agreement with our landlord, it didn't allow for an extra person. And I said that if everything was fine and they paid their rent, there shouldn't be any problems. But they didn't pay their rent, and there were problems.
So there really wasn't an expectation that she was going to pay the $200 a month, right?
That's correct.
Good. Okay. So that we get rid of that part of your lawsuit, $400 for Mr. Rosen over here. Now let's get to the $550 that you didn't pay. Why did you move out?
I moved out because I started feeling really threatened for my life. Pablo began to play with his guns. He owned several different weapons, and he began to play with them in my presence.
How did he play with them?
He would walk around the house cocking the guns for no apparent reason, and while he would do this, he would also end up slamming the doors and giving evil looks, and it just made me really uncomfortable.
It's not true, Your Honor. It's not true at all. I am a regular target shooter. She says that I own several guns. I own 2 target rifles, which the only time I ever bring them out is when I'm preparing them to go out to the shooting range. Now, I don't know why she's saying this. I think that she's extremely paranoid and has an unhealthy fear of weapons.
Did she ever ask you not to take the weapons out in her presence?
There was, I'd like to
Your
call...
Honor, if I can comment on a situation.
Tell me your name.
My name's Logan Green. I'm Pablo's
All right, Mr. Green.
roommate.
First up, Mr. Alvarez is going to finish. Did Miss Queller ever tell you that it made her uncomfortable when you took your weapons out?
She never told me directly. There was one incident in which she saw me doing it and just abruptly left. Later on, she contacted Logan and spoke to him, and then Logan spoke to me. So she, in a sense, spoke to me indirectly.
So she left, and you didn't know why she left?
I did not know. After
what did she say to you, Logan?
She told me that she had witnessed Pablo cleaning the gun in the living room. And I said, you don't have to worry. Pablo is extremely safe with them. He always has a gun lock on it in the house. It's never loaded. I said, you shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable in your own home, though. I'll talk with Pablo, and I'll make sure that he never takes the gun out of his room again.
Okay.
And that's what's happened.
And is that what happened? Did you ever take the gun out of your room again?
No.
Is that right?
Other than to go to the shooting range, well, it's in a case.
Well, one of the main reasons that I felt uncomfortable a lot is because this only happened when I was the only person at home. And after him knowing that they make me really uncomfortable, I just felt like it was some sort of intimidation towards me. Well,
Miss Queller, you've got to get over that, my dear. It doesn't give you the right not to pay the third month's rent that you contractually agreed to pay. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Now, you have a counterclaim, and your counterclaim is for all the stress and anxiety you suffered as a result of Mr. Alvarez's actions, and the fact that you had to board your cat, and the fact that you had to find another place. You have no basis for a counterclaim because you had no right to stick her with the rent. And I don't find his actions were unreasonable. I don't happen to be comfortable around, around guns, but you have licenses for them if you need licenses.
Yes,
and the police came, I understand, at one point because they called the police and they found your guns in a lockbox. Is that correct?
They were underneath the bed with trigger locks installed on them.
Oh, okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $550, which represents the last month's rent. Your counterclaim's dismissed. That's all.
What is our excuse? Yes, it's case number 293 on the calendar, the matter of Strong versus Ramos. You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mr. Strong, how long did you and Miss Ramos live together?
For approximately almost 2 months.
And how long did you date prior to living together?
I'd say about 9 months.
It is your claim that after an argument, that Miss Ramos got into your car, drove it erratically, drove into a fence, and wrecked your car.
Correct.
You want her to pay for the damage. Ms. Ramos says that she got into your car because she was escaping an assault by you. And yes, she did go into a fence, but it was because she was fleeing the apartment because you were assaulting her. When did this happen?
August 19th, 2004.
Tell me about it, Mr. Strong.
Your Honor, that day I came home from work. We had gotten into a verbal argument.
About what?
About money.
What about money?
Basically, we didn't have no money.
So what were you arguing with each other about? Why don't you go get a job?
I had a job, Your Honor.
And she?
She was not working at the time.
So were you arguing with her because she didn't have a job?
She was arguing with me because I was not making enough money, not supporting us enough. Then we kept arguing. I told her I was going to leave the apartment, went to go get my clothes from my bedroom.
You mean you were leaving her?
No, I was leaving the apartment for the night.
Oh, just for the evening?
Just for the evening.
Okay.
So everything calmed down. Went to go grab my clothes. As soon as I did that, she darted out the door, jumped in the car, and wrecked it, Your Honor.
Okay, can I see pictures of the car, please?
Yes, ma'am. Here's all the evidence right here. Just pictures. There's also pictures in there of her damage, Your Honor.
Now, after she darted out of the apartment into the car, what did you do?
I seen her getting into the car from our bedroom. I ran downstairs. By that time, she was already in the car, leaving the apartment recklessly, driving. I ran after her to tell her to stop. As soon as I started to run, she wrecked. I ran over there to see if she was all right. About that time, she ran out the passenger door ran into the other side of the apartment complex. About that time, I got arrested.
You got arrested for what?
I got arrested, they said, for domestic violence.
All right, Ms. Ramos, let me hear your version of the events. August 19th, 2004, you were at the apartment at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. I actually arrived at 5 o'clock in the afternoon because the evening before I had to go to an appointment. Well, I spent the night at my mom's house, and that night...
What kind of an appointment?
I actually had to go... I had to go apply for general assistance because we weren't bringing in enough money, and he wasn't allowing me to work. I had to
What do you
sneak.
mean, just a second, what do you mean he wasn't allowing you to work?
He wasn't allowing me to work.
I don't understand. Put your hand down. I don't understand that.
He wouldn't allow me to go look for a job throughout the day. I would sneak to go look for a job. And
When was the last time you were employed?
last time when I was employed, I was 16 years old. And that was at
How
Burger
old are you
King.
now?
I'm 18 now. And I am employed now.
Mr. Strong?
That is incorrect, Your Honor.
Okay.
I encouraged her numerous times to get a job.
Well, tell
to
me
help
about
out.
it. Tell me about it, Mr. Strong.
I even, to the point where I told her I would leave the, I would leave the car keys and everything, even to the point where I told her my mother would take her to go look for a job, Your Honor, while I'm at work.
What was the argument about on the 19th of August, Ms. Ramos?
By that point, I was just so fed up with barely making ends meet that we had to, penny pinch. We had hardly no food in the fridge, so I said, you know what, I'm going to apply for general assistance. Well, I didn't tell him that. I told my mom that. I went to spend the night at my mom's house that evening, and I didn't ask him or anything. I just packed my stuff up. By the time he got home from work, he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to my mom's house to spend the night. I have an appointment in the morning. Well, that evening when I was at my mom's house, he called me numerous times. His mom called me numerous times saying that Tony is here. I'm sorry, Robert. They call him Tony. Tony is here at the house. He, I don't know what's going on. He's pacing back and forth. I have no idea what's going on. I told her, well, I'm here at my mom's house. I had to leave for the evening because I have an appointment in the morning. Well, following evening, I went back home. The house was a mess. He wasn't home from work yet. The house was a mess. And finally, he walked in about 5:30, 5:15, and I was in the kitchen trying to clean stuff up. And he said, hi, babe. I didn't say anything to him. And he said, well, what's wrong? Why are you mad? I said, look at the house. Ask me why I'm mad. Look at what you did to the house. He said, well, oh, well. He said, you left me like a dog the night before, so I messed up the house. I said, that's no excuse to mess up the house. So he turned around and I said, you know what? I don't need this. I do not need you or this in my life. I picked up my house keys off the counter, which the house keys did have the extra set of car keys, my cell phone, and I started to walk out of the kitchen. He picked up a knife off of the table, started to tell me that he was going to kill me. He said, if you go and you leave me, I'll kill you. And he said, no, as a matter of fact, I'll kill myself. Started to push the knife into his neck and onto his wrist. At that point, I started screaming, and I was trying to pull it up so it wouldn't puncture him. Finally, he dropped it, and he went and he grabbed me by my neck and started pushing me up against the kitchen sink, in the corner of the kitchen sink and the stove. Started choking me. I finally pushed him off. When I pushed him off, he reached in to get a kiss. And I went like that. I said, you passed up that opportunity. And I started walking out of the kitchen. When I started walking out of the kitchen, he ran up to the front door. I got the front door open about this much. The neighbors seen me. I opened up the front door, and he went and grabbed me by my throat and pushed me up against the wall, slammed the front door. He said, you F&B, you're not going nowhere. He grabbed the cell phone out of my hand and threw it up against the wall. That's in the police report, too. The neighbors were hearing everything that was going on downstairs.
Tell me what the neighbors were hearing. Who called the police?
The neighbors.
You didn't call the police?
I did not call the police until I finally ran out of the house, but that was minutes later.
Where did you call the police from?
At the neighbor's house, but that was after I wrecked the car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You must think that the whole world is stupid, including me.
Your Honor, that's...
Yeah, listen to me, sir. That never happened.
That did happen.
Never happened.
That did happen.
Mr. Strong, never happened in this country, sir.
And later today...
You mean you didn't say to her, if you do this for me, I'll pay you back as soon as I get the money? You didn't say that to her?
No, ma'am.
Better off without her, my dear.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Tony Strong says ex-fiancée Camille Ramos wrecked his Buick Regal. Camille says she was fleeing from Robert after he threatened to kill her.
Can I see the police report, please?
Yes, ma'am. There are statements from witnesses that seen him hitting me. Sorry. It's a chunky one.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I never once hit her. Never.
He pleaded
Not-
to domestic violence.
Not once did I hit her.
Speak.
The only reason I did plead to domestic violence, Your Honor, is because so I can get out of jail. I was facing 6 years in the penitentiary.
Listen
for
to
this.
me, Mr. Strong. I didn't even ask you the question. You were arrested for domestic violence?
I was charged with domestic. I was charged with corporal injury to a spouse or companion, destruction of telephone or telegraphic, and terrorist threat.
How long had you been living in that apartment complex, sir?
For about, I'd say, a month and 3 weeks, so almost 2 months.
Do you know a woman by the name of Melinda?
I do not know, sir. Ma'am.
She's a neighbor of yours. Police interviewed her.
Okay.
This neighbor says she saw you push the defendant into a corner and you had your hands around her throat.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Okay.
I never once pushed her or grabbed her.
Your Honor, I have pictures of my injuries.
The police observed that the apartment was in a total state of disarray, sir. There was overturned furniture in the living room. There were broken parts of a cell phone in the closet in the bedroom. The bathroom door was taken off the hinges. Closet rod, which one uses for hanging clothes in the closet, was on the floor in the bedroom. How'd that happen?
That happened when I went to go grab my clothes, Your Honor. I was in my closet, and I went to go like this, bear hug all my clothes. When I did that, she pushed me into the closet.
You left that out.
I fell down, and that's how that curtain thing broke.
You left out the fact that she pushed you in the closet, Mr. Strong. How did the furniture get overturned in the living room?
I don't know about that one, Your Honor. When I came home...
How did the cell phone
get
broken and in a lot of pieces, sir? How did that happen?
I don't know, Your Honor.
You don't know?
No.
You do know that you pled guilty to domestic violence.
Yes, I do know that.
Now, when you pled guilty to domestic violence, the judge asked you to make a statement as to exactly what you were pleading guilty to. What did you tell the judge you did on the 19th of August?
I just told the judge basically I defended myself. She came after me with a knife. I pushed her away, and after that, I went to go get my clothes out of my closet. She pushed me into the closet. She left, and that's when she jumped in the car, wrecked it, and
Mr.
I ran after her.
Mr. Strong, there are all different kinds of judges in this country, some brighter than others. None of them would have accepted the plea that you just outlined to me as
They
a plea.
did, Your
I'm
Honor.
speaking! As a plea of guilty to domestic violence. Because what you said to me was that you pled guilty, although she was guilty of domestic violence. You must think that the whole world is stupid, including me.
Your Honor, that's...
Yeah, listen to me, sir. That never happened.
That did happen.
Never
that
happened.
Did happen.
Mr. Strong, never happened in this country, sir.
Okay.
That's
Never.
What, excuse me, Your Honor, that is what he told the judge.
I want to tell you something. You're his mother?
Yes.
Listen to me.
I was
Listen to me.
in the court when he told the judge, and he's leaving out the fact that he had a cut from her cutting him with the knife.
Listen to me very, very
And that there are
carefully.
photos
I'm
and
speaking.
bruises
My
from
mouth
her.
is moving. No jurist in this country would accept a plea as outlined by your son, because what he told me was she came at him with a knife. In response to that, he went to the closet to get his clothes and left. That's what you told me.
Correct.
Right? The police support her version of the events because they say that the apartment was a disaster, which is what she says in her statement. Not that you were just waiting for her to come home and you had a discussion about money that escalated into an argument. You never put your hands on her. In addition to that, your statement and your plea to domestic violence totally fall without what I consider any kind of reason or common sense, which leads me to believe that she was escaping from your assault. She was escaping from your assaultive behavior. Put your hand down! And as such, sir, if she was escaping and if she totaled your car because she was trying to get away from you, deal with it. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She was planning to leave me and didn't know how to tell me, so that's how she did it.
I wasn't planning on leaving him. I was planning on bettering myself.
She had another boyfriend on the side.
When a lot of people weren't there for me, he was. But in the end, his true colors showed.
I am glad it's over, and now I can get on with my life.
For all those girls out there who you think that you need help from anyone, you don't need help from no one. You do it on your own, just like I did it, and you'll make it. You'll make it with everything you got.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Julian versus Hassel, step forward, please.
20-year-old security officer Jennifer Julian and her husband John are suing their former friend, 19-year-old sales clerk Jamie Hassel, for an unpaid loan to retain a lawyer. Jamie says Jennifer gave her the money so she could get custody of her son.
Mr. and Mrs. Julian, you claim a loan to the defendant, who used to be a very dear friend of yours. The defendant said this was money that she received from you, was money that was a gift that she needed. She needed it for a lawyer, and there was never any discussion of repayment. How long have you and Mrs. Hassel been friends?
We've been friends for about 11 years.
And when you gave her money, where did the transfer of the money take place?
Actually, we went and got it from the bank. And
who's we?
Miss Hassel and I walked 22 blocks in downtown Austin to find a bank, because we went to like 3 or 4 different banks before we finally found one that would accept my credit card to get a cash advance.
So you took out a cash advance. Now tell me why.
Well, she needed the money for a lawyer, and she couldn't get the money for a couple of weeks from her trust fund.
What did you need the money for a lawyer for?
To get full custody of my son, to have his father sign over his rights.
How did you ask Miss Julian, or Mr. and Mrs. Julian, to help you?
Well, John and I never spoke of it, actually. Jennifer had taken me to the lawyer, because I had an appointment with him that morning, and after the lawyer told me that he needed a $3,000 retainer, we sat in the room, and my mother and I were discussing it, how we were going to come up with the money, and Jennifer offered.
What did she say?
She said, well, I can go get it out of the bank. You know, me and her have been friends forever. We've supported each other through anything, and she was there. She's Aunt Jenny to Damien.
I don't care if she's Aunt Jenny. I don't care if she's Grandma Jenny. She said to you, I can go get the money out of the bank from a cash advance.
Yes,
and
sir.
what did you say?
I said, okay, and I went with it.
Just okay?
Yeah.
You didn't say to her, okay, if you do this, I'll pay you back?
Well, I mean, I said thank you. I wasn't rude
that's
about
not what I asked you. You mean you didn't say to her, if you do this for me, I'll pay you back as soon as I get the money? You didn't say that to her?
No, ma'am.
You just thought it was very nice of her to give you $3,000.
I mean, that's what we did for each other. We helped each other out through anything.
No, $3,000 is not 50 bucks. $3,000 is a big chunk of change, especially when she said to you, I don't have the money. I can take a cash advance out on my credit card. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How do you support yourself?
I have a part-time job right now.
Who supports you totally?
I live with my grandmother.
Where does your mother live?
With me.
Okay, let me hear your version of it, Miss Julian.
Well, she needed the money, and she couldn't get the money from her trust fund for, I think, 2 weeks. And
Is that what she told you?
That's what she told me.
Okay, go ahead.
So I called my husband, and he said, well, the only way that we'll agree to do this is if she agrees to pay any finance fees, any transaction fees, any fees that come up.
And she said?
She said, yes, absolutely, I'll pay anything.
What happened 2 weeks later?
She just told different stories every time I talked to her.
So why do you think that you should not pay back Mr. and Mrs. Julian?
Because to me, it was never a loan. I mean, if she would have asked me, hey, I need this back, sure. I mean, we could have made some agreement. But she knew at the time I didn't have a job, I was taking care of my baby, and we were there for each other, always. That's how our relationship went.
Better off without her, my dear. Not much of a friend. Anything you want to say, Mr. Julian?
Just that my wife had called and asked me if it would be okay to take the $3,000 out of the cash advance.
When she called you, did she tell you where she was?
Yes, I knew where they were before. Because the night before, they told me that this lawyer was going to take it and she could pay him later. I said, that's not going to happen. Lawyers don't work that way. So I was expecting it.
Miss Hassel, if you don't do the wrong thing, you don't have to cry. You got to do the right thing. If you borrow something and somebody treats you well and somebody's willing to be supportive, you're supposed to do the right thing. You're supposed to say to Mr. and Mrs. Julian, listen, I can't pay you back all at once. I'll pay you $100 a month, $25 a week. That's all I can afford, but I'm going to do it because I live with my mother and my grandmother. I'm working part-time. I'll work a little bit more part-time so that I can afford to give you $25 a week. $50. $50, however long it takes. You don't try to shirk your responsibility and do the wrong thing with a friend. Judgment for the plaintiff, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She was avoiding me. She was going to people.
Your Honor, this is case number 302 on the calendar, the matter of Stewart versus McLevish Scott. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Mr. Stewart, Miss McLevish was a friend of yours.
Yes, ma'am.
And with regard to your lawsuit against her, you claim a loan.
Yes, ma'am.
With regard to Mr. Scott, who was her boyfriend, you claim that when you went to collect that loan, he assaulted you.
Yes, ma'am.
Causing you to have injuries which required medical treatment, and you want a substantial amount of money for your pain and suffering as well as your medical bills paid.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want Miss McLevish to return the money that she borrowed from you. Miss McLevish acknowledges that you gave her money, although not as much as you say you did, but she said it was a gift. And Mr. Scott says that he did in fact hit you, but it was in self-defense when you came to their home drunk. That's your defense, is that correct, sir? Who is this gentleman?
This is Detective Kenner.
Okay, Mr. Stewart, how did you know Miss McLevish?
She actually worked for my brother.
Did you also work for your brother?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work does your brother do?
Collection agency.
And how long had you known her before you made her this loan?
I believe like a year and a half.
Did you just have a friendly relationship, or was it a social relationship?
We had a friendly relationship. I mean, my kid would babysit her kids. I mean, we'd have barbecues together. Me and Carrie Sean would work out together. I mean, basketball.
Carrie Sean is Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Tell me about this loan. When did you make it, and what was it for?
On Sunday, I believe it was either Saturday or Sunday, she came to me, and it was around Easter Sunday. I'm sorry, I think it was around fourth month. She didn't have money to get the kids Easter baskets and dresses and, you know, go out for food and that. Which she came to my house, it was just her. And then I wrote out a check. You know, I had no problem with doing it because we always lent each other money.
How much did you?
$350 at the first time.
$350, and you have the canceled check?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, can I see it, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so April 24th. And then I see another one on April 18th.
Yes.
For cash, for $850. You have Dawn 400, and who was that?
That's
Tim?
me, yeah.
$450. Well, what was that for, sir?
That was for, she had, her and Carrie Sean, I guess, had wrote a bad check at a pizza place in Coeur d'Alene. And they wanted me to help, they were going to come after her, so she wanted me to help get her out of that trouble. So I went ahead and lent her the money to cover this check. Which,
how much was that?
I believe the check was $280. And then she asked for extra money for food, which, you know, I had no problem with doing.
Kerry Scott, that's you, $150. Lawn care, what is that for?
I put that down for tax reasons, just for a memo.
Well, I don't know what that means. Did he ever take care of your lawn?
No, he didn't.
You can't claim that, sir. If you're looking to fool the federal government, you don't come into the court with dirty hands and then say, well, it really wasn't for lawn care, it was really a loan.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to eat that. And then house repair, Kerry Scott, $400. Is that the same thing?
Yes, it was.
Tell me something about these checks, Miss McLevish.
Okay, the $350 check that he did write to me was for bills that I have a credit card. I don't have a checking account. It's a checking account with a credit, debit card. And so I use that. I don't write checks. I don't
care whether you write checks or not. Did you borrow money from him?
He gave me the $350 to pay me back for using my credit card to pay his electric bill and his cell bill because
Show me.
I don't have those papers because I didn't know court was going to be this soon. The $250, he loaned me $210. The $40 was to Carrie Sean. The $210, I was supposed to pay him back whenever. We borrowed money back and forth, like he said. It was good faith. Then he got in trouble with his brother, with borrowing money from his brother. And then on the week before the July 16th, like the 7th, whatever that Friday is, he called my house from midnight till 3:30, telling me that I owe him money. I need to pay this money back.
Stop. Mr. Scott, what about these little checks to you? $30, $100. What's all this for?
Tim wrote those checks for me because he wanted me to do him a favor.
Go
That's
ahead.
why he put them bogus. That's why he put the bogus.
Just a second. He gave you these checks. The checks were paid. What were they for, sir?
The truth.
No, I'm here asking you to lie. The truth.
The truth. Tim asked me to call the man to get him some drugs. And that's why he put the falsified, did yard care, and the house repairs.
Just a minute. So
That's
he
what
gave
that
you,
was for.
Shh. So he gave you this money
Yes.
because you had a drug connection.
Yes.
And so you took this money and purchased drugs.
And gave them to Tim.
Purchased drugs and gave them to him.
And gave them to Tim.
And that's why you put the fake. Yeah.
Do you love it?
Never ceases to amaze me.
Me too.
In what county, Mr. Scott, were you making these drug purchases?
Kootenai County, Idaho.
And from where were you making these drug purchases? No, look at me.
I knew a guy. I called him and...
You knew a guy?
Yeah.
What's his first name?
His dude named George.
And you said you called him.
Mm-hmm.
What's his phone number?
Oh, I can't remember the number.
Where did you meet George to get the drugs?
Oh, I met George right by Tim's house. Tim knows the same dude.
Are you from the same county?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. You're taking this all down?
Yes, ma'am.
You love it, right?
Oh, yes.
Like shooting fish in a barrel.
There'll be a phone call made tomorrow morning.
You love it.
Yes, ma'am.
Me too. Now, what kind of drugs did you purchase, sir?
That was marijuana.
Have you ever been incarcerated, Mr. Scott?
Yes.
For what?
Robbery.
Anything else?
Yep. DWI.
Anything else?
Assault.
Anything else? Never drugs?
No.
So this was a new venture for you? I just want to know, this was a new venture?
Yep, I guess so.
Okay. And when he gave you this money and you purchased the drugs, how much of a commission did you keep for
I
yourself?
didn't get any commission.
So you were just being a good friend?
Hey, I hooked Tim up. Tim probably give me a piece. Tim would give me a piece every now and again, you know.
Well, just a minute. So that
I
you would
smoke
buy-
marijuana.
Shh, just a minute. So you bought the marijuana.
Yeah.
You didn't take a commission.
No, I didn't take anything.
But you took it in kind. You took some marijuana. You said, I'll get it for you. You give me the money and give me some of the marijuana.
That's what he did.
And that's what he did. Well, that's
Mhm.
your commission. And you didn't resell it. You used it yourself.
Yeah.
Don't you wish it was all this easy, Detective?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Next thing I know, I turn around and I'm sitting there getting hit.
And he hits the door and then he turns the knob. And that's when he got punched.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tim Stewart says former friend Dawn McClevish and her boyfriend, Carrie Sean Scott, owe for unpaid loans and an assault. Carrie Sean says Tim entered their home uninvited, so he punched him.
You decided to go get your money back.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I went...
When did you decide to get your money back?
After, I think it's been like 6 months went by.
After
and
I
then
lost my
she
job
was-
over it.
She was supposed to repay me out of her check, you know, and next thing I know, I hear that I have to wait till she gets her settlement because she was in an auto accident, which that's not the agreement that we had.
What was the agreement when you
That
gave
she
her
would
this
pay
money?
me in full out of her check.
Well, what happened when you went over there, sir? You went over.
Well, when I got there, we had some words, and then like we usually do. Then everything settled down, and then those two went in the house, and next thing I know, I turn around and I'm sitting there getting hit, and I'm picking myself off the ground. I mean, I didn't expect that from him at all.
What day was this, sir, when you went over there to get your money?
July 16th.
7/16.
Now I'll hear you.
On the money, when I offered to pay it, he called me on Friday and said he wanted the money the Friday before. I said, when I get paid, I'll give you something, or if my settlement comes in, I'll give you something by then. He said, my job's in jeopardy. Now I don't owe him the money. I owe his brother the money because he loaned money from his brother. So on Monday I went to work. I said, Jeff was my boss, his brother. What's going on? Is my job in jeopardy? He said, no, you owe me the money. How much do you owe him? I told him it's none of his business how much I owe him. He said, Tim owes me $1,100. I said, it's not that much. He said, well, Tim owes me, I want you to pay me. So when I got paid, my settlement didn't come. So when I got paid on Friday, I went at lunch, got $100 out of my check. I went to office to give it to Jeff. Jeff said, that's not how much. That's not the deal. He doesn't want any of the money. Save it, keep it. And I was fired.
Okay.
And so then I left on my bicycle. And then that's when I wasn't even home when these two had an incident. I was on my bike on my way home.
Then I'm going to Mr. Scott. Then
Right.
Mr. Scott's going to tell me what happened when he got there.
Tim called me. Well, Jeff called me first. That's Tim's brother. And he told me, he had threatened me on the phone. He said I wasn't safe. And then like 3 minutes later, he calls me and said he was on his way to my house to talk to me about some money. I told Tim, I said, Tim, don't come to my house because I don't owe you anything. Next thing you know, I went back in my house. He was pulling up in my driveway. I went outside. I told Tim to leave. I say, Tim, get off the property, leave. Tim gets out of his car. He comes to the door. I go back in again. Then he hits the door, and then he turns the knob. And that's when he got punched.
As he walked in the door, did you say anything to him?
Did I say anything when he came in? No.
Yes.
No, right
you
then
just
I
hit him. You just hit him.
Yes.
Now, Detective, do you know anything about this case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to hear you, sir. Your last name? Kenner?
Kenner.
How did you become familiar with this case, sir?
I was assigned the follow-up case.
And tell me what you did during the course of your investigation.
It was a day later, and I started making phone calls. First, I talked with Jeff Stewart and then Tim Stewart himself. And I tried to contact Mr. Scott himself, but I couldn't get through on the phone.
As a result of your investigation, what did you ascertain, Detective Kenner?
I felt that I could submit it for battery charges against Mr. Scott, and I did file that with the Post Falls prosecutor. And while I was still attempting to get a hold of Mr. Scott, I had received what's called a screening report back, and the charges on the battery were declined by the prosecutor.
Do you know why?
Yes, I do, ma'am. It's in the report.
Do you have? Is the report here?
I believe you have a copy of it. Yes.
Okay.
Tim Stewart says, while trying to collect money from Dawn McClevish and her boyfriend, Carrie Sean Scott, Carrie Sean punched him in the eye. Detective Pat Kenner of the Post Falls Police Department is testifying on Tim's behalf.
You left out the fact that the door was locked when he was trying the door, and that you went over to the door and unlocked it and opened it. And then he put one foot inside, according to you. And that's when you started to hit him, and you hit him more than once.
Twice.
But you left out the fact that the door was locked, and you went over and opened the door.
I did not say Tim walked right in my house. I said I opened the door.
Okay, good.
Same thing I told the cops.
You have pictures of your injuries, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see them, please.
It says right here that I have the right to smack Tim by the state of Idaho. I have the right to do that.
I would like to see where it says...
Here you go.
Yeah,
right here.
I'd like to see that.
Right there. It says it right there. It says I have the right to smack him.
That's why I wasn't prosecuted.
It says it right there on the paper.
Oh.
No.
Are you telling me that I'm supposed to accept the word of the Post Falls City prosecutor?
I don't. Well,
Do
that's
you understand?
That's
Do you
the court I was
understand?
going to.
Let me explain something to you. Post Falls City prosecutor, age 37.
I don't know.
Judge, age unknown to you.
Right.
Experience 40 years, longer than Post Falls City prosecutor has been alive. Did you also tell the Post Falls City prosecutor that you were selling drugs?
No, I don't sell drugs.
Oh, sure you do.
No, I don't.
Ooh,
No,
Detective
I don't.
Kenner's going to tell you you sold drugs, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
No, you can't.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sold drugs. You know what you sold drugs for, according to your own testimony,
What was
sir,
that?
today?
What was that?
For drugs.
No.
You sold drugs because you bartered them. Doesn't make any difference whether you got money or drugs. You wanted drugs to smoke, so you acted as a go-between, but your payment was drugs. It's no different than getting drugs for payment or getting money for payment. Detective Kenner's going to explain that to you, probably tomorrow.
Well, let him. I don't sell drugs. He can't arrest me for that. So I'm not worried about Detective Kenner. I'm not worried about him.
Mr. Stewart, what did you hope to accomplish when you went to the house that day?
Try to retrieve my money.
Okay. And
That's all.
did you know that Miss McClevish wasn't at home?
Yes, ma'am.
So why did you go over to speak to him?
Because he's the man of the house, and he usually likes handling the business. And I'd rather talk to him face to face since it went to, to help his family out.
You brought it to
And
me.
if I'd have known this, I would have never lent the money in the first place to get into something like this. It's just not worth it.
Did he tell you to leave when you drove up?
No, ma'am, he
Did
didn't.
he tell you?
I was even at the point where I was sitting on his porch. I was sitting on the porch while he was standing right there next to me.
But there came a point, I'm not stupid, there came a point where he told you to leave.
That I can't recall, honestly.
Well, when you say you can't recall honestly, had you been drinking that
Because me and
day?
him never got into it before. Never had any altercation or even the
Oh,
yellow
I
match.
assume
or-
not, because he says he was your drug dealer.
Not
So
drug
that's from
dealer.
his
Well,
own, that's his own words, that he says he was your drug dealer, and that you'd never had any words.
Ma'am, I don't even smoke tobacco.
I understand, that's what he says,
Yeah, I know.
right? So he was your buddy.
Yeah, he was my
When
buddy.
did he stop being your buddy, Mr. Scott?
Hey, that day when he came to the house, when he called threatening,
He didn't threaten you. You said it was
Jeff,
brother.
yeah, his brother did.
But
then
not
he called.
him.
But then he comes down the street. He comes down the street after I get a phone call from his phone, and all of a sudden he got his phone. He was sitting right there with his brother.
But I don't understand why you said you went running out and told him to get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. Why would you do that initially without asking him any questions? You know, what's the matter, guy? You know, what are you so upset about?
Because I already went through that Friday before when he was calling the house at 12 o'clock till 3 in the morning asking for money.
And he called before asking for money because
and Tim
your
said, he said, just give him something. He said, give me something. I was like, what do I owe you? That's what I asked him. What do I owe you?
And what did he say?
He kept saying Don. He kept saying Don owes this, Don owes that. I say, man, you guys been loaning money for the last year and a half, back and forth. They don't never put no dates down there. They get the money and they pay it back off.
Yeah, but it sounds like a civilized conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
Not from 12
not from 12 o'clock till 3 in the morning when he was calling from a bar
Drunk.
and we was in the house sleep.
Ringing my phone off the hook.
From 12 to 3, he would not stop calling.
That would be me. Mr. Stewart, were you calling them?
That would be you.
I had to unplug my phone because he would not stop calling.
Defense, which is interesting because I've read your answer, Mr. Scott, and your answer is really pretty dissimilar from what you've testified to today.
What do you mean by dissimilar?
Well, you say that he came to your house and he smelled of liquor. You left that out. You didn't say anything about liquor today. I realized he was trying to break in the front door. I went to open the door and he came at me, smelling of liquor. I asked one last time for him to leave, none of which you testified to today, and in self-defense I hit him.
Hey, Tim came to my house. Hey, Tim came to my house, smelled of liquor, and once I told him to leave, and he don't leave, hey, like they say, I got the right to do what I got to do to remove him, and that's what I did.
Okay. I find after this hearing that the defendant, McLevish, owes the plaintiff, Mr. Stewart, $750, and that despite the fact that despite the fact that the post-Fall City prosecutor elected not to prosecute this case for assault, that Mr. Scott had no right to hit the plaintiff, that the plaintiff had not previously threatened him, that they had an ongoing relationship, that Mr. Scott did in fact open the door and without telling him to leave, which he testified to a moment ago, that he did not tell him to leave the house when he came in, despite the fact that his answer says he did, despite the fact that in his answer he says he smelled of alcohol. There was nothing in his testimonies to suggest that Mr. Stewart smelled of alcohol. He assaulted him. He hit him twice, and I find that he had absolutely no right to do that. and for that assault, I am awarding him $2,500. 052 $3,250 judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you.
On, Tim.
If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have lent her the money just to save a friendship.
Like I told him when I got...
Rivera versus Hernandez.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Rivera, the defendant is your ex-husband's current girlfriend.
Correct.
And according to your complaint, outside of school, an incident occurred where she attacked and assaulted you. You want to be compensated for that injury. It resulted in severe damage to a finger. Ms. Hernandez says you initiated this altercation by damaging her car. Fight ensued. You may have gotten the worst of the fight, but you started it. And she is counterclaiming for the damage that she alleges you did to her car that day, and also for the fact that she lost her job because of this incident and lost wages. That's your counterclaim.
Yes.
How long were you married to the ex-husband?
13 years.
Do you have children?
Yes.
How many?
2.
How old?
12 and 8.
What's his first name?
Jose.
When were you divorced?
I wasn't legally married. Common law.
Common law in what state?
New York.
There's no common law in New York unless it was before 1933. And from looking at you, you didn't live with him in 1933, so that you were never married to Jose.
No.
But you were together for 13 years.
Correct.
Come you never married him?
I wasn't ready to get married.
You were ready to have 2 children with him, but not get married.
Exactly.
I always understood that. It was always clear as a bell to me. When did you separate?
We were together 13 years, and we separated a couple of years ago, like maybe 4 years ago.
And when did you meet Jose?
In 1998.
You have children with him?
Yes.
How many?
1.
How old?
6.
So you were with him when he was living with her?
No. According to me, he wasn't living with her.
Your child is There's a 2-year age difference between
Yes.
your child and hers.
Yes.
How long have you been living together?
Going on 4 years.
Well, for the 4 years before that, where was he living?
In his own apartment.
Sounds like some bargain. What does Jose do for a living?
He's a broker, an insurance broker.
How long has he done that?
About maybe 6 years.
Does he make a living?
Yes, he does.
How much money does he earn?
About maybe 35, 36,000.
Does Jose pay child support?
No, he doesn't.
How do you support your children?
He provides for them.
How do you support your children?
He supports them.
How much does he send you?
He doesn't send me anything. If they was to need anything, he'll go buy it for them.
That's not supporting your children, Ms. Rivera. Do you work?
No, I don't.
Well, who supports you? Is not an answer.
The city.
The state?
The state.
And how long have you been a recipient of state assistance?
About 19 years.
19 years. Well, that's the reason you didn't marry Jose.
Yeah.
That's the answer. I knew, you follow the money, you always get to the answer. That's a reason for not getting married. So Jose works as an insurance broker. The state pays for your 2 children, and Jose has another family. Who do you work for?
For myself.
What kind of work do you do?
Insurance broker.
For the same company?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you worked for them?
It's mine. It's an actual brokerage. I own my own brokerage.
Does he work for you?
Yes.
How long has he worked for you?
6 years.
Is he a paid employee or on commission?
No, he's a paid employee.
And what's the name of your company?
Popular Multi-Service.
Where are they located?
In the Bronx.
Perfect. State of New York is going to send me a big gold star for this one. Now, tell me when this incident took place.
It took place on February 5th, 7:30 in the morning.
Tell me what happened, Miss Rivera.
Okay, I was taking my kids to school at 7:30 in the morning because they have to be inside by 8 o'clock. So as I'm approaching the school, I see Athena Hernandez coming out of the school. And then as I'm getting closer, she's running back in the school. So as I'm approaching inside the school, she's coming out. And she's coming out saying a smart remark.
Just tell me what she said.
She said, haha, I have a car.
Go ahead.
So I looked at her, I was like, come on, boys, let's keep on going inside. That's not necessary. So I gave them my blessings, I walked them inside, and then I stood about 10 minutes inside. I came out, she's still out there, parked in front of the school. She pulled down her window, she started cursing at me, and she spit at me. So I spit at her right back. And I continued walking home. As I continue walking home, I'm turning the corner, ready to cross the street. As I'm crossing the street, she turns the car in a one-way, she eats the stop sign, and she hits me with the car. I got surprised. I fell down. So as I'm getting up, she rushes out the car and she starts attacking me. So I'm trying to defend myself. So I'm trying to unzip my coat to pull my hands up. So I finally took off my coat and she kept on attacking me, and then she snatched my coat, ran back in the car. So at that moment, I was like, help, help, somebody. Can I have a cell phone to call 911? I need to call 911. I'm being attacked. Somebody finally let me call. So I'm like, help, 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 please come. I'm being assaulted over here. So I see her rushing back out. She's like, who are you calling? Who are you calling, your son? Who are you calling, huh? When I see her coming out, I pick up the stick to start her to see if the cops come. And I'm taking off my boots. And I'm like, leave it alone, leave it alone, leave me alone.
You're taking off your boots?
Yeah, because I had some boots up to my knees, and they were high, and they were tight, and I kept on falling. So to have my balance and protect myself, and I'm like, leave me alone already, leave me alone. The cops are coming, leave me alone. She was like, no. She smacks the stick out of my hand, and she attacks me. And I feel somebody else behind me push me against the gate, and she just kept on hitting me, boom, 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 boom. And I kept on defending myself, and she bit my finger. And she said, ha, ha, look at your finger on the floor, and that's when the cops came. And I was just, it hurted so much, it was unbelievable.
So it was the tip of your pinky finger that she bit off?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Hernandez, tell me your version of the events.
Okay, my child and her 2 children attend the same school. It's not the first time that we see each other, but every time we see each other, she has something to say, whether it's indirect, under her breath, whatever. Usually I just let it go, give her a, smirk, whatever. This morning...
Let me stop you just for a second, just for my own information. Are you nice to Jose?
Yeah.
Are you nice to Jose?
Yes.
Because you said nice things about him before. You said if the kids need anything, he gets it for them. And I assume that you're still living with him, that you think he's a nice guy.
Correct.
And I assume you don't like her.
I don't have anything against her.
I assume you're not crazy about her because I believe that there is this underlying current of animus, anger that the two of you have, and you're not crazy about her. Is that right?
That's correct.
And that I don't understand. You see, you look like two relatively normal women. Jose's the bad guy, not you. He was two-timing you. He was two-timing you. There's no question in my mind. So you all make up with Jose and fight with each other. Two women fighting with each other when the bad guy is off doing what he's doing, maybe with somebody new. Never can tell. That's his history. That just is so foolish to me. And you're not the first two women that I've seen do this kind of ridiculous fighting over some worthless piece of trash guy who doesn't support his children, lets the state do it, lived a lie for at least 4 years. Why do you look puzzled, madam?
Because according to what I know, the state supports her.
State supports the children unless he provides support through the court. The state supports her children. That's why she didn't marry him, or that's why he didn't marry her. They had a little extra cash. He's not going to have that extra cash anymore because they're going to attach his salary, which you just swore under oath that you paid him the last 6 years. They're going to go back and take it out for 6 years' worth of money. Let's move on with February 5th at 7:30 in the morning.
I'm getting out of my vehicle, dropping off my daughter. I run into school. It was freezing that day. As I'm leaving the school, she's entering the school with her 2 children. She tells her oldest son, I'm just effing showing off. I look at her, I said, you know what, why don't you just take your kids into school and shut up? I don't have effing time for this. I'm going towards my truck.
Nice talk in front of the children.
I go towards my truck.
Both of you, as a matter of fact. Because I absolutely believe that that happened.
First of all,
shh.
Okay. I go towards my truck. She puts her kids through, there's one door, second door, leaves them in there, runs back out, starts taking off her coat, telling me I've been dying to kick your for the last 8 years. Get out of the truck. I'm in the truck and I'm laughing at her while she's taking off her clothes. Mind you, it's 8 degrees outside. Now she starts kicking my passenger door, gets in front of my truck, bangs on the hood. I'm honking the horn for her to get out of the way. I can't drive fast because there's parents dropping off their children, and we're in front of a school and they have speed bumps. If not, I would have went around and kept going. Couldn't do that. I went up, moved up a little, she moved over, right? As I'm going towards, there was a stop sign.
Just a minute. You have a big business?
It's a small business, not that big.
In case somebody has to reach you at your business when you're out with your child, how do they do that?
My cell phone.
Which works?
Which I didn't have.
I don't believe that. You don't walk out of the house in 8-degree weather in a car without your cell phone.
Your Honor, I didn't even have a bra on.
I don't care whether you had your bra. You may go out without a bra, but nobody goes out without their cell phone. So I don't believe that.
Okay.
Absolutely don't believe that you didn't have your cell phone. So if you have this nut banging on your car looking to fight with you, what is the last thing you do, Miss Hernandez? The last thing you do. You have a nutty person, takes off her coat in 8-degree weather, starts banging on your car, damaging your car. What is the last thing a woman does? Gets out of the car. So what I want to know is, how did her finger get bitten off if you stayed in the car?
I didn't stay in the car.
Why not?
Because she spit at me through the window.
First of all, why is the window open if it's 8 degrees outside?
Because
when it's 8 degrees outside, when I used to live in New York, the first thing I did was make sure those windows were up and the heat was on, not keep the windows down. So why, Miss Hernandez, were the windows down?
I rolled down the passenger window.
For what?
To curse her out and tell her to go home.
Got it?
Got it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is that the finger that she bit?
Yes, and I have the estimate of my finger, too.
I don't need an estimate for your finger. There is absolutely nothing you can do to fix your finger. They cannot reattach it.
Yes, they could. I have it here.
Elizabeth Rivera claims her ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend, Athena Hernandez, bit off the tip of her pinky finger during a fight.
Now, Miss Hernandez, you have some crazy person who's attacked your car, who's hell-bent on attacking you. Why in the world would a businesswoman who has apparently a successful small business, so she's savvy. Why would she get out of a car where she's safe to confront some lunatic?
This has been going on for years.
Why would you do that?
Because I was tired of her. I was tired of her.
So you got out of the car to beat her up?
No, to return the favor.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. Don't believe that for a minute. Not for a second. I believe you got out of the car to beat her up. That's what you did. You got out of the car to beat her up. And Miss Rivera, there isn't a question in my mind that you attacked her car. Not a question in my mind that the situation happened exactly the way you told me it happened, with a few minor changes, that she beat you up because she was furious. And there isn't a question in my mind that she banged on your car before you got out of the car and beat her up. Now, who is this, by the way?
This is my son. He's been supporting me through my pain and suffering.
You wouldn't have had any pain and suffering if you hadn't started to rail on her car.
Your Honor, this has been going on for a long time.
Miss Rivera, I'm not interested in a long time.
She's been sending me letters through the mail and harassing me and everything.
Were you arrested?
Many years ago.
Arrested for this case?
Well, yes, correct.
Were you arrested?
Yes.
For this case?
Yes.
And what happened when you went to court on this case, Miss Rivera? Because you were arrested, I assume, for either vandalism or harassment. What happened with that case?
They just gave me a fine of $95. They were going to give me a misdemeanor, but they saw that...
Don't tell me what they saw. You must have pled guilty if you had to pay a fine.
Yes, I did.
What did you plead guilty to?
To vandalizing.
Right. There you go. That's exactly what I surmised happened. You vandalized her car, and you pled guilty to that in a criminal proceeding.
They didn't tell me it was for her vehicle. They just said it's for the...
For vandalizing.
For
what did you
there.
think you were vandalizing? The snow?
Well,
vandalizing her
she
car.
can't prove that I did anything.
Miss Rivera, you pled guilty in a criminal proceeding. Finished. It's over. Now, Miss Hernandez, you were arrested for assault.
Yes, that's correct.
And what happened with that case? Were you found guilty?
Yeah.
For assaulting her?
Yes.
Oh, this case is over. Wish I would have known that before we started. You have to pay for her injuries because you pled guilty to assaulting her.
She didn't pay for medical bills. The state did.
No. I'm not giving her a dime for her medical bills because she doesn't have any medical bills. But you assaulted her. She has to be compensated for that. And you have to pay for her truck because you started it.
Why would I have to pay if she don't have no evidence I did anything to her?
Oh, yes, she does. Because you pled guilty to vandalizing her truck. Now, you have pictures of the truck?
No, I have an estimate.
I'd like to take a look at it. And is that the finger that she bit?
Yes, and I have the estimate of my finger, too.
I don't need an estimate for your finger. You have Medicaid, is that correct?
Yes, I do, but Medicaid doesn't pay to fix my finger.
Nothing you
I
can
have
do
to estimate
There
on
is
that.
absolutely nothing you can do to fix your finger. Absolutely nothing. They cannot reattach it anymore.
Yes, they could. I have it here. What they're going to do to it and everything.
Listen to me. Not at this stage of the game. Now, you have any other children other than these two children?
I have one more, which is Jose.
That's it?
3 boys, yes.
His father is not Jose.
No.
How old are you?
20.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a sales associate at Macy's on 34th Street.
And
I go to college, John Jay.
Perfect. You get along with Jose?
Somewhat.
Smart. On your claim, Miss Rivera, I am awarding you for pain and suffering $1,500. I would have ordered more, except you precipitated this attack by vandalizing her car.
But she also...
I'm speaking. I'm ruling now. I heard you. I'm awarding you $800 on your counterclaim to fix your car, which I am deducting from her award. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Which means, Miss Rivera, that you get $700 because I've deducted the $800 that she's getting for the truck. I'm speaking, and you get nothing, but you get your truck fixed. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
And I'm going to suggest if you are two decent human beings and you've both made the mistake of falling for Jose, you put this animosity to rest. It should be over. You don't want him anymore. You got him for now. Maybe you won't have him in 5 years, but you got him for now. You may not be happy when they start taking money out of his pay. A whole bunch of money, because that's what they're going to do. That's what the state of New York's going to do. You can't escape your responsibility. If you make children, you have to support them. And is there any reason why you don't work? What are you looking over here for? Is there any reason why you don't work?
Yes, I don't work because my reading is not so great.
You don't have to read for every job.
if you can find me one, I'm willing to work.
It's not my job to look for a
I
job
know,
for
I
you,
mean,
madam.
no one wants
You've
to be
been on
behind
welfare 19 years. It's time to move on. There are lots of jobs that you can do where you don't have to be able to read War and Peace. That's all. Step out.
Case number 111 on the calendar, the matter of Nunez versus Mitchell. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
This known as Mr. Mitchell is your boyfriend's brother. I don't know if he's still your boyfriend.
No.
Okay, but you and the boyfriend had an apartment. You decided to relocate. Mr. Mitchell was looking for a place to live. He didn't have very good credit. He has a wife?
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend. And children?
One son.
With the girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Not married. Any particular reason why, sir?
Just hasn't happened yet.
Didn't think about it?
We've thought about it, but
Not ready to make that sort of a commitment.
not really that. Just haven't done it yet.
Anyway, they needed a place to live. And you thought it might be a nice idea if you let them move into your apartment. They moved into your apartment. Your name, however, remained on the lease. It is your claim that after they moved out, because of things that they did, you were required to pay the landlord a certain amount of money. Mr. Mitchell says that it's your fault, all of these things, so you pay. When did you move into the apartment?
I initially signed the lease in November of 2005.
And when did you move out of the apartment?
In April of 2006.
Was it a one-year lease?
It was a one-year lease, yes.
So he had until October of '06. Is that right?
Well, November. Technically, the lease ended November 30th of 2006.
When did you move into the apartment, Mr. Mitchell?
In April of 2006.
And what was the rent?
Was $800 a month plus utilities.
And you were diligent in paying your rent each and every month?
Yep.
When did you move out?
We moved out the end of November.
Did you pay November's rent?
Yes.
What rent does he owe?
Well, because they didn't give us 60 days notice to the apartment complex, then they were required to pay an additional month's worth of rent.
Was that in the lease?
Yes, it was stated in the lease.
Did you give him the lease?
I did give him the lease, and I have a copy here showing that he initialed when he signed on to the lease, showing that he did see that in fact...
I'd like to see it.
Okay. And I have a copy of his application to be signed on to the lease, and his initials next to where it says 60 days must be given to move out of the apartment.
Okay. So it is clear that you both understood that you had to give 60 days notice.
Yes.
And your name remained on the lease.
Yes.
And it is Mr. Mitchell's position is that he gave the landlord 60 days written notice. So now, Mr. Mitchell, will you show me your written 60-day notice to the landlord?
Yeah, I gave 30 days notice, and I was going to work with them to pay off the last month's rent, but I do have a copy of that.
Well, so you didn't give 60-day notice.
No, not 60. I gave a 30-day notice.
But you had to give him 60 days notice.
And I had talked to them about that I didn't have 60 days, and they said that they would work with me on paying off the rest of the money.
First of all, you can't modify a written contract by an oral agreement. A written contract can only be modified by a written contract, sir. So you did not give them 60 days notice, and you were living there.
No, I did not.
So you owe the month's rent.
Well,
am I missing something?
I went into the leasing office and I said that I don't have 60 days, and they said, how long do you have? And I said, I can give you 30 days.
That's hearsay, sir. That's hearsay.
Okay.
So you owe the month's rent, and how much is a month's rent?
It was $800 plus an extra $150 for being outside of the lease.
Is that what you had to pay?
Well, I have it listed as $850, which is what
perfect. So you see, $850. And what about the utilities?
The utilities that they owed were $500 at the move out. I have a copy of all of that here.
Did you owe any utilities when you moved out, sir?
Not that they had told me. I had been paying the utilities every single month.
Well, take a look at the utilities. How much does it say the utilities were when you moved out?
But part of this in here is the rent, too, like late rent. So it wasn't a total of the $500 for just the utilities.
Well, were you late in your rent?
No. Well, except for that last month, yes. So
well, the
yeah.
last month wouldn't account for $500, sir.
Yeah, and I don't understand how it's listed
I
here.
don't either. What is it?
There's a breakdown of everything. It's a gas reimbursement, late fees, rent, trash reimbursement, utility charges, water, sewer reimbursement, and the total for all of those combined.
Do you see that,
Yeah,
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
So is that what you owed?
Yes.
Is my question. Wouldn't that have been easier for you to say immediately?
Yeah.
What was that amount?
The amount is about $500. I just rounded up, Judge. It was $495. So
don't round it out.
Okay.
I have a machine here. It helps me. So far, we have $1,345. Now, what about the cleaning fees for the apartment?
The cleaning fees are listed here as well. There's different damages, cleaning, trash out, rent through the 60 days.
You already told me about trash. How much trash was there?
Apparently there was a lot because they're getting charged again for it.
Just a second. Mr. Mitchell, Did you and your girlfriend do a walkthrough with the landlord when you left?
Not with the landlord, no.
With whom?
We didn't do it with anyone. We cleaned the apartment out. There was some trash, but it's listed here. It's only $5 worth of taking trash out. And so there were a few bags
Why
of
didn't
trash.
you walk through the apartment with either the manager or the landlord?
They didn't tell me that I had to do that.
Did you take photographs when you left?
Mm-mm.
Well, why should she have to deal with any of this stuff?
They also had to replace the carpets, and the carpets were damaged when we moved in. And I asked Vicky if the deposit that she left would cover the carpets, and she said yes. And she had like 8-month-old Great Dane puppy living in the apartments that completely trashed the carpets.
Is that right?
I take responsibility for the carpets. However, Judge, the carpet cleaning fee was only $50.
You said that they had to replace all the carpets.
I have the invoice of them having to replace the carpets.
You mean they had cleaned it before they replaced it? They're very neat people. What date did you move out?
November 30th.
This was in January of 2007.
That's when they replaced the carpets. That was the invoice from the carpet company that they gave the apartments.
No. Where did you get this from?
The apartments. I went into the leasing office and talked to her about what I needed, and she said that this showed that they had completely replaced the carpets.
But you weren't charged for that.
No.
No. So
I don't have a copy of any of that.
No, she doesn't have a copy of that. Yes, you can take this and you can give it back to this lady. I don't know what she was hoping to get from that. So far, you owe $1,345. What were the rest of the fees?
They didn't return the key cards, and there's other damages here to different things in the apartment complex.
Did you return the key cards?
No, I do take responsibility for that.
Listen, Mr. Mitchell, sounds to me like you have to grow up a little bit. You didn't give 60 days notice. You didn't finish cleaning up the apartment.
I did clean the apartment.
No, you said to me you left some trash there. And there were some things. Did you have a young child in the apartment?
Yes.
So there was some damage in the apartment that I'm sure is ascribed to you and not her 8-month-old Great Dane. That be a fair statement?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there are a lot of things that you didn't do. She shouldn't have to be responsible for that. And she lost a $150 deposit. She's not even asking you for that, which she should have gotten back. Can I see that paperwork, please? Anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Mitchell?
Just that when I had spoken...
Before I pronounce sentence upon you.
I had spoken to the leasing office about the notice, and they had said, since it's not 60 days, we can...
Listen to me. That's hearsay.
I have a copy of when I said I was going to move out, signed by the apartments.
Does it say signed and approved, no penalty?
No.
Fine. Okay. Now, I want to see your check.
Okay. The check is from my older sister's account, and it's right here, and there's a payment of receipt.
I'd like to see it,
And also
please.
the statement from the account being paid.
When did they contact you?
They contacted me on April 10th, so 4 months after they had moved out and I thought everything was taken care of, I found out that I had 2 days to come up with approximately $2,000. And if I didn't pay it, they threatened that they were going to take us to court, there were going to be more fees added, and I didn't want to ruin my credit because I have really good credit. I've always paid everything on time.
Gotcha.
So-
Okay. Where did you move to, Mr. Mitchell?
My aunt had a house that she rented to us.
So why couldn't you give them 60 days notice?
Because we needed to move into that house to get it. Because
Why?
we needed a bigger house. We needed something with more rooms.
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Mitchell. You said I couldn't give them 60 days notice, which means that you were going to the military, somebody was having surgery, but you go into your aunt's house, so you move in a month later to your aunt's house.
We couldn't afford the last month's rent as well. And that's what I had told
You're
the lease
fast
office.
talking, babe. You're a fast talker. Fast talker. Fortunately for me, I'm a faster thinker. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,865.01. That's all. Out. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I don't think I should have had to pay any of this, and it comes out like me looking like the irresponsible one.
It's not that he's a bad guy, it's just that there were some irresponsible things that happened, and I'm just glad it got taken care of.
I'm definitely not going to get onto a lease with anyone.
Thanks, Judge Judy.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Golombieski versus Bano. Step forward, please.
Mark Golombieski is suing his ex-girlfriend, Pauline Bano, for the return of an engagement ring and 2 unpaid loans. Mark claims at the time he proposed, Pauline was married to another man.
Mr. Golombieski, you and the defendant were in a relationship. According to you, you gave her an engagement ring, asked her to marry you, and she accepted. And you made a series of loans to her. She went and married somebody else, according to you. And you remained friends, but you want your money back and you want your ring back. Ms. Bano says that you were just friends, originally not, but then she met somebody else, she married somebody else, and you, in a very friendly way, agreed to assist her when she was having some financial difficulties. And the ring was not an engagement ring, but a ring that was given to her at Christmas time when she received all of her other Christmas presents. That's the box. Can I see the ring?
100%.
Can I see the ring? I need a time frame for this.
That was Christmas Eve.
Oh, perfect. How did you meet her?
We met online in June of 2006.
And when did you meet in person?
A few days after we started talking online.
You live close by?
Yeah, we live in the same town.
Was she single at the time?
Yes.
Did you discuss marriage?
She brought up the subject of marriage maybe a couple of months after we'd met.
What did she say?
She kind of thought I was the right guy for her, and, you know, I got along well with her children and all that other stuff.
So she's been married before?
Yes.
What about you?
Yes, I was.
Divorced?
Divorced.
And you?
Ben, I was divorced, yes.
Tell me about when you purchased this ring, sir.
When I purchased that ring was after Miss Biano came back. She had to go to Maryland for about a month or so, 5 weeks or so, because her son was injured in Iraq, and she went down there to be with him and to care for him down in Maryland.
In what month was that?
Most of the month of October.
October 7th is when I left.
Okay, go ahead.
We still contacted each other pretty much every day, emails, phone calls, things like that. You know, we kind of maintained the relationship the best we could. So I guess with abstinence making the heart grow fonder, things like that. When she came back in November and leading up to it, you know, I started thinking a little bit more about it, that we got through all of that, and that, you know, maybe she was the next one for me.
But while, according to you and according to Miss Banner, while she was in Maryland, she met somebody else. Is that right?
Yes, it was.
And you married somebody else?
Yes, I did.
When did you tell Mr. Golombowski that you had married somebody else?
When I got home.
Not before?
No. When I got home from Maryland. Which
When
was
did you
in
get
November.
home from Maryland?
November 7th, November 8th.
Is that when she told you she had gotten married?
No, Your Honor.
When did she tell you she
Mark,
got married?
you were crying
No,
on the
no, no,
phone.
Miss Bano, don't speak to him. When did she tell you she got
She
married?
told me she did not even get married until just before Thanksgiving, which would have been around November 22nd or so.
Okay, so
She told
sometime
me-
in
Yes,
November.
that's true. Sorry.
She didn't tell me this until about the beginning of the year, after Christmas, that she got married back just prior to Thanksgiving.
She told you after you had given her the ring?
Yes, Your Honor. About a
Tell
week
me
or so
about when
after.
you gave her the ring.
Basically, it was on Christmas Eve, 2006. Her family
You
was
were
there.
together?
We were together. We were at her house. Her family was there. My daughter was there with us. And we'd opened up presents and things like that. And
Everybody exchanges gifts on Christmas Eve. Sorry.
one of the last gifts that I had given her was the ring. And, you know, I let her know that I wanted to marry her, and she accepted.
What did she say?
She said she wanted to be together, you know, and she accepted
All
it.
right. Now, according to you, Miss Bano, at the time that this gentleman gave you this ring, you were married to somebody else.
Yes.
And you told him you were married to somebody else.
Yes.
Give him his ring back.
Thank you.
His.
I offered it back 100 times. He
Now he's got
refused
it.
to take it.
Okay, now he's got it. Got your ring back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now let's talk about these loans. When was the first loan?
First loan was on January 17th of 2007. She asked for $750 for a car loan.
Now, by that time, you already knew that she was married.
Yes, Your Honor. But I also expected us to, she was talking about an annulment. She was talking
Why
about
did she
divorce.
tell you that she wanted an annulment?
She didn't want to be married to this gentleman. The gentleman that she'd married to wasn't even with her. He wasn't up in the state of Connecticut. He was still wherever. I'd never
In
met him.
Maryland.
The only time that I'd know that they were together, she said, is when he came up here to marry her in November.
But you still dated
Yes, Your Honor.
from November, December, and into January. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So according to you, and according to her, she needed $750. You gave her the $750, and according to Ms. Bano, she actually returned, and you accepted $350 on that loan.
No, Your Honor. Not on those loans. There was a time around Christmas that she wanted, you know, we were out shopping and she needed some money, and I gave her the $300 then. What? And she had repaid that money to me in the cash that she's talking about, I believe.
No, that is not true.
Okay, so why don't you tell me, Ms. Bano?
Okay, in the beginning, we did meet.
Listen, I'm past meeting. I don't care meeting. You met, you married somebody else.
Yeah, I
You
did.
want-
I met,
Fine.
I married somebody else. In
Listen,
December, I
Ray-
talked to him.
Quiet. Get to the $750.
I was telling him, we were talking.
I told him I needed more money to put down payment on my new car. Okay?
Why did you tell him that?
We were just talking in general. I wanted the car now. I didn't want to wait. Okay? And he offered it, so I said, okay, I'll pay you back. I can pay you back half now, and I'll pay you back half the next week. He's like, that's fine. So, on the 18th, I deposited his check into my account. On the 22nd, I withdrew $300, and I handed it to him. He took it. The following week, I offered him money again. He said, no, just keep it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Go ahead, cutie. When was the next time you told him you needed money?
I didn't tell him I needed money. We're just having conversation. Okay, in conversation, the second time in conversation, we were discussing, and I was saying, we were talking about my income taxes, how I hadn't been here, blah, 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 so on and so on.
Just a second. Don't tell me about income tax. I read your answer.
Yeah?
According to your answer, you were having some financial difficulties. So what did you need money for in January?
A car.
You got the $750.
You just said what I need money for in January.
February.
March.
You mean you're still stringing him along in March?
Yeah.
What did you tell him you needed money for in March?
We were just talking about money in general. He offered the money. He left a check on my kitchen table. My daughter picked it up. We asked, what is this for? He said, help you out with bills. I was like, thank you. We cashed it. We paid some bills.
Oh, let me tell you something. Mr. Golubieski, kiss the floor, look up to God, and say, thank you, God, because but for the grace of God, she could have married you. Then you would have been in real trouble, sir. Right now, the guy in Maryland has to worry about
He doesn't have to worry about
shenanigans.
anything.
Judgment for the plaintiff and the amount.
9 on the calendar in the matter of Deskins versus Benson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Thanks,
folks. Have a seat. You're welcome.
Ms. Deskins, you and Mr. Benson lived together for the last 4 years, according to what I read here, and you were in what I perceived you believed to be a committed relationship. At some time, according to your complaint, you purchased a truck. The truck was for, according to you, Mr. Benson's use in his business. The only thing is the truck was titled in your name, and the understanding was that he was to make all the payments on the truck. He didn't. They repossessed the truck, and you now have a judgment against you for some $8,000. Mr. Benson says, with regard to that part of your complaint, it was your truck, you should have paid for it.
Yes.
Next, your claim is really a little convoluted. It's something to do with the saddle, that he pawned some of your property, and you want the value of the property that he pawned, saddles or something like that. Now, Mr. Benson says that he took the saddles down and pawned them because you needed the money, you wanted the money, and he gave you the money. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Benson?
No, she wanted me to buy dog food, and I used the money for that.
And finally, we have Mr. Benson's counterclaim, because he says when you threw him out, he left with the clothes on his back, and you have his saddle and tools and stuff that he wants back. Okay, let's get to the truck. When did you buy the truck?
The truck was purchased in approximately May of 2002.
What kind of a car were you driving in May of 2002?
A Toyota Camry 1995.
Is that the only vehicle that you had?
No, I believe at that time I also had a Ford F-250 pickup truck.
Did you sell that truck?
That truck was sold, yes, Your
When?
Honor. Probably sometime that year.
When you got the other truck?
Yes. It was its replacement.
Shut up. When you got the other truck, you sold the old one?
No. The other truck was sold before the Nissan pickup truck was purchased.
So you got one instead of the other. Now, what were you using a truck for?
I was not using a truck for anything but an ostrich business that I had from 1990 to approximately 1998.
Well, from 1998 until 2002, when you got rid of it, what were you doing with the truck?
Hauling hay.
I'm going to get to you. Miss Deskins, I want you to understand something.
Yes.
One way or another, and I would prefer it to be sooner rather than later, I'm going to get all the truth. So if you're going to give me a lot of baloney, it's going to irritate me, because it's been a long day and I'm tired. Do you understand?
I understand.
Do you understand?
I understand.
Good. So, if you had an ostrich business that concluded in 1998 and you kept a truck and paid for insurance and paid for tags for 4 years, then you're either stupid or you were doing something else with the truck.
After I stopped ranching ostriches, I had a horse ranch and a llama business.
So you were using the truck?
Correct.
And when you sold that truck, the same year, you purchased this truck in May of '02.
That's correct. I purchased the truck for Mr. Benson. He wanted it for his horseshoeing business.
And you never used it?
No, I'm not saying I never used it, Your Honor. He had probably 99.9% exclusive use of the truck. I used it when my Camry needed to have tires put on or something. I would occasionally borrow the truck.
Now I'll hear you.
She had the keys of the truck. I had to borrow the truck to use the truck. And yes, I used it for horseshoeing. And she got all the money in our relationship. What I got horseshoeing or saddle making, she got the money. If she chose not to pay for this truck, that's her problem.
No, don't get to the ultimate conclusion, sir, because that's going to irritate me, because that's my job.
Okay.
You don't want to take away my job.
It wasn't my truck.
I am not going to shoe your horses, and you don't take away my job.
I promise. But it wasn't my truck.
Just a second. You used the truck.
Yes.
And she used the truck.
Yes.
I believe that.
Thank you.
So it was in your name?
That's correct.
He left? When he left?
He was asked to leave February 12th.
Good. And when he left on February 12th, did you keep the truck?
The truck was actually in a replevin action at that time, Your Honor. He would not give me the car keys to the truck. I actually had to get a court order to get the keys from him. And I went down to the restaurant where he was working with the court order and asked him for the keys, and he coughed up the keys at that point.
Ms. Deskins, you are the titled owner of this truck?
That's correct.
You don't need a court order to get the keys, madam. All you need is your little finger that does the walking through the yellow pages. And you call a locksmith, and the locksmith starts the truck, and you replace the cylinder and get a new key. That's what happens if you would have lost the keys to the truck, right? So I don't know why you went through this whole megillah about going to court and getting the keys to the truck when all you had to do was call a locksmith. All right, what else did he do? He pawned some property. When?
He pawned property beginning in about August of 2004.
What did he pawn in August of 2004?
He began by pawning saddles that I had purchased. He pawned...
When did you find out about it?
I found out about it probably around the first part of this year when I noticed the items were missing.
We have a company together. These were my saddles, too.
What kind of company do you have?
A saddle business, making and buying, selling, and trading saddles.
Ms. Deskins, is it true, madam, that you and Mr. Benson, aside from sharing a bed, shared a business together?
I posted his saddles for him on my eBay website.
And what'd you do with the money that you got from selling the saddles?
The money was used primarily to buy leather and other tools for Mr. Benson's leather making.
Was some of the money, just let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Somebody buys a saddle. How much you pay for a saddle?
Anywhere from $250 to $1,000.
And what did you do with the money?
We paid financial expenses with it.
You paid bills.
Yes.
You paid household expenses,
yes.
Food, right?
And we invested back in the business.
Good. What do you want from me? The relationship broke up. The business broke up. It's joint property. Some of it's his, some of it's yours. You expect me to go figure out what part of the saddle was yours and what part of the saddle was his?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What happened that you left so quickly, Mr. Benson, that you couldn't take the most valuable things?
We had police and guns involved. And the police told me she was crazy. Get in the car, we'll take you anywhere you want to go. And when you come back, bring the police.
And later today...
You sold it to her for $3,500, and she was a friend.
Yes.
Several months later, you sold it to somebody else for $1,900, who was a stranger.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, madam.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Pamela Deskin says ex-boyfriend Michael Benson owes for the balance on a truck and for allegedly stealing horse saddles. Michael says everything he owns is still in Pamela's possession.
Ms. Destin, it's over. The relationship is over. The business is over.
We were in a meretricious relationship. We shared a lot of property. We shared a lot of business ventures together. He converted a lot of that property for his own personal use.
You made an error in judgment.
I made an error in judgment when I purchased a car for him and believed that he truly was going to use that and pay for it. And I would take half the responsibility for that stupidity. But I believe Mr. Benson needs to take the other half of the responsibility.
Sure, if his name was... Listen to me. If his name was on... Hey, don't talk to her. If his name was on the title to the truck, was his name on the title to the truck?
No, Your Honor, because he told me that he needed my credit to get the truck. He had the benefit of the bargain. Now I'm getting the defaulted note.
Since then, I bought a different car. I didn't need her help.
Mr. Benson?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I look like I need you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Deskins probably got the short end of the financial stick. That's possible, but that sometimes happens in a relationship. And not every time somebody gets the short end of the bargain does it mean that there is a court case which will result in vindication. I just said to you, if the truck had been in both of your names, then a joint debt might have been created for the difference between the loan on the truck and what was secured from its sale. But you had the truck in your name alone. It could have been titled in his name.
Mr. Benson has a child support obligation which prevents him from having the title to anything in his own name. That's why the title was held in my name.
Is what you're telling me is that you helped him perpetrate a fraud on the mother of his children?
No, Your Honor.
No, just a second.
No, Your Honor, I'm
well,
not
that's
saying
what,
that.
Just a second. That's what you're saying to me.
I discovered...
Quiet. That's what you're saying to me, because if what you're saying to me is he keeps everything out of his own name so that the mother of his children can't get hold of property because he's in arrears and child support because he's a deadbeat. You're not a deadbeat, are you, Mr. Benson? You owe a lot of money in child support.
Yes,
it's very easy to figure out.
I'm paying it.
That's not my question. My question is, do you owe a lot of money in child support?
Yes.
Okay. So I knew I was going to get an answer.
But I still have a car in my name. I can have things in my name.
All Miss Deskins said to me was, the reason she put the truck in your name is that your ex-wife? Wife couldn't get her hands on it. That means she's assisting you in perpetrating a fraud. I'm not interested in hearing it. Let me hear about what you left in the house.
Everything I own.
What?
Okay. All my personal clothing. All my artwork.
What kind of artwork? Show me.
I have one of my grandmother's pictures, which was painted, God, I don't know when.
Well, what happened that you left so quickly, Mr. Benson, that you couldn't take the most valuable things?
We had police and guns involved.
What?
Police and guns. And the police told me she was crazy. Get in the car. We'll take you anywhere you want to go, but stay away from there. And when you come back, bring the police.
Well, did you try to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened?
I made arrangements to pick my stuff up about 2 Saturdays ago, and then she wasn't there.
How many times have you been married?
3.
Didn't want to do a 4th?
No.
Smart. How many times have you been married?
Twice.
Didn't want to do it again?
No.
Also sounds smart. Next time, be smarter financially, Miss Deskins. Mr. Benson, my gut feeling is that you share some of the responsibility for this truck that she got stuck with because you did, in fact, use it for your business. You didn't have another car at the time, did you?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you have?
I have a Trooper. I've had it the whole time almost. Yes, and I had a Bronco before that.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I have proof that he...
I had the Bronco when she bought the truck.
Okay.
I already had a horseshoeing rig.
And what did you do with the Bronco?
I wrecked it about a year later. And then I bought a Trooper.
Were you using the truck at all, Mr. Benson?
Not in quite a while. She wouldn't let me.
Okay. It's my sense that were things different and were you two married and were we sitting here in a court and dissolving a marriage, we would add up the marital debt. That wouldn't make any difference in whose name property was titled, and we would divide that in half. But since you are not married and the title to the truck was in your name and the truck was, in fact, on your property, the debt is yours. So's whatever you left in the house, if you can't get it. Do you understand?
I can't have my stuff back?
You can have your stuff. If the police want to help you get it, that's fine. I'm certainly not going to give you a monetary award for it, sir. You have any of his stuff that you want to give to him?
I have given him ample opportunity to pick up his personal belongings.
Like what?
Everything that he owns, his clothing, his leather-making tools, his horseshoeing tools, everything is still there in his room.
Ms. Deskins, do you believe Mr. Benson has a temper?
Yes.
And you don't want anything to do with him anymore, is that right?
No, he's an alcoholic with a terribly verbal...
I'm not interested in your expanding on your answer. If I was, I would have let you do that. So it would be a fair statement that you want him out of your life.
That's correct.
Do you know where he's living?
I have no idea.
Where are you living? Uncross your arms.
I'm living approximately 5 miles up the road. She knows where I live.
Who is this person?
This is my witness here. I live with his family.
Okay. Do you know this young man?
I've met him once or twice.
You're not afraid of him, are you?
I don't know him well enough to be afraid of him.
What do you do?
I'm a construction worker and assistant ranch manager.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Do you have a truck?
Yes.
How about you box up his stuff 5 days from today at 10 a.m., and this young man's going to come to your house without him, and you're just going to get rid of the stuff. And I'm going to tell you why that's going to be a good thing for you to do. Because you don't want him to be irritated with you. If he's got a temper, according to you, and a whole lot of other things that I'm not giving you an opportunity to tell me about, I would suggest you get rid of the stuff so that you have no further nexus with him. Smart?
I think it's a very good idea.
Good. Thank you very much. We'll cut that order. Goodbye.
Don't forget my donkey.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I have a whole packet here of sheriff's reports.
The cops never did anything to me, and there's several times they wanted to arrest her.
He was drunk when I came home, and he was verbally abusing me.
That's pretty slanderous.
He would go for short periods and not drink, and I had hope for the relationship.
I just left with the clothes on my back, and I never went back.
I finally came to the conclusion that it was hopeless.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Seed versus Maxwell. Step forward, please.
19-year-old customer service rep Melissa Seed is suing former co-worker, 22-year-old student Tammy Maxwell for the return of money she paid for a Nissan 200 SX. Melissa says Tammy ended up selling the car to someone else.
Miss Seed, how did you know Miss Maxwell before you agreed to buy her car?
I used to work with her.
According to your complaint, she had a car she was selling. You decided to buy it. You agreed on a price of $3,500. Miss Maxwell said she would sell you the car, you could pay it off, but she would keep the car until it was paid. As soon as you finished making your last payment, she would sign the title over the car and give it to you. So far, is that correct?
Yes.
You started to make payments on the car, and according to you, you made $1,600 worth of payments.
Yes.
And then you ran into some financial difficulty, and you stopped making payments.
Correct.
And Miss Maxwell sold the car because you hadn't made your payments, and you want your $1,600 back.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Maxwell says that she used your money to make the car payments on the car because that was what she had intended to do, and that she sold the car for just the difference in what was owed on the car and what you had given her, which was $1,900. That's what you're telling me, is that right?
Yes.
So first, let me see the bill of sale for the car. Okay, well, this says that you're buying it in as-is condition. And did you check the Blue Book price of the car at the time?
Yes, I did.
And what was the Blue Book price of the car?
About $2,000, $2,500.
So why did you agree to pay $3,500?
Because it had some modifications done to it.
Like what?
It had wheels and tires. It had a...
Wheels and tires usually come with a car. It's very hard to drive a car without wheels and tires.
Custom wheels and tires.
Yeah.
It had a stereo system in it with subwoofers, so it wasn't stock stereo.
So what do you need that stuff for?
Just a kid wanting to have fun with a nice car, I guess.
When did you sell the car?
September.
Who did you sell the car to?
It's a private party.
Let me see. Bill of sale.
I don't have the bill of sale. I gave it to them to register the car. I have my loan payoff, which was $1,823. And so I took the $1,900 and paid off the loan.
Well, you would have a bill of sale from somebody else.
No, I gave it to them. I didn't keep a copy for myself.
Well, you have to. That means I'm just relying on you to tell me the truth with regard to how much you sold the car for. Because you sold it to her for $3,500 and she was a friend. Is that right?
Yes.
Several months later, you sold it to somebody else, according to you, for $1,900. Who was a stranger.
I couldn't afford the loan. My insurance was doubled with the car on it.
No, but are you following me?
Yes, I will.
Why would you sell it to a stranger for $1,600 less than it was worth?
Just to pay off the loan, because I couldn't afford the loan anymore.
It doesn't make sense, madam. What was the balance when you sold it to her at the end of February?
$2,300.
$2,300. So from her, you got $1,600, right? Mm-hmm. If I believe you, which I don't, from somebody else you got $1,900, right?
Yes.
Equals $3,500. The only thing that was left on the loan was $2,300.
Yes.
That means that on these two transactions, if I believed you, you made a profit of $1,200.
I also had to pay the insurance on it.
Of course, you had the car.
But I wasn't driving it. I was just holding it for her.
How do I know that? You can't come unjustly enriched at her expense. And you did. If I believe everything she said, and I have no proof that it's not true, so she has to give you back $1,200, which she says she profited. She doesn't realize that she said she profited, but she did. She profited $1,200 worth. That goes to you. The rest of it you've lost.
Okay.
Got it?
Fine.
Judgment for the plaintiff came out to $1,200.
Out of Evgene versus Funger. Parties have been sworn in, Judge.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Funger.
Funger.
And Mr. Evgene.
Correct.
How old are you, sir?
50.
Other than this arrest that you had on this charge of domestic violence, have you ever been arrested?
No.
So this arrest for domestic violence was your first arrest?
For domestic violence, yes.
I'm talking about for anything.
For anything. In 2001, wet reckless.
2001 what?
Wet reckless.
What does that mean?
That is a DUI that was reduced to a wet reckless.
So in 2001, you had one arrest for DUI.
Correct.
Other than that?
That's it.
And how long had you and Miss Fonger been a couple?
We met in April of '06 at rehab.
Nature of your addiction was alcohol?
Alcohol, correct.
And yours?
It was pills.
Your complaint alleges that you were arrested for domestic violence. The incident occurred because Miss Fonger actually assaulted you while you were driving in the car. It is your claim that ultimately the charges against you were dropped.
Correct.
For lack of evidence. The criminal charges. You allege that Miss Fonger filed for a restraining order. She never showed up. That case was dismissed.
Correct.
Then she filed for another restraining order, and she conned you into not going to court
Correct.
on that one. Told you she was going to drop those charges, so you didn't go to court.
Along with a little loving, yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And then she did go to court and did, in fact, get a protective order.
Correct.
And you want her to compensate you to the tune of $5,000. Ms. Fonger says that you did, in fact, assault her. She's got a counterclaim for her medical bills and punitive damages for the assault. So, I want you to tell me exactly your version of the events, Ms. Fonger, of what happened on the 9th of January, because you also have a claim for certain property that you claim she took while the 2 days that you were in jail before the charges were dropped, and a dog that you claim she took that belonged to you. Okay. Go.
Okay. On January 9th, we were on... Sorry, I'm nervous. We went to Pollock Casino, and we meet at people. And that night, he decided not to go to the concert. So he pulled me out, and we went to Temecula Valley.
You said you had been to the concert at the casino.
Halfway.
But you went to the concert.
Right, but only halfway.
Okay. And then he wanted to leave. You were driving the car back, and?
And he was drunk.
Yes.
And he was on drugs.
And?
And then I was yelling and screaming.
And what about you?
I had 4 drinks.
And what about pills?
Nope.
Just alcohol?
Yeah, correct.
I have proof she had pills that night.
What kind of proof do you have?
A week before that, she got 120 somas by forging my doctor's signature.
But how can you prove that she had pills in her system that night?
Her actions, her behavior, it just goes from what
That's not proof. Go ahead.
When we got to, actually, between Pollock Casino and Temecula Valley, he hit my head against the wall, or against the window. I was unconscious. And then he kept hitting me. He restrained me. And then the next thing I know was the police were there.
Okay. Go ahead.
Back from the concert, she didn't want to go. She wanted to stay. And with this new friend she had met, party with them, and we were arguing. And then I'm driving, and she attacks me. I have pictures of my face being scratched. And
you wanted to leave the concert early?
I don't think so. No, we left early, but I didn't want to leave early. No.
Do you remember why?
I think it's because the couple that she'd met started making inappropriate remarks towards, like, maybe you guys could sleep in our room tonight and things like that. And I didn't want to stick around.
When had you been drinking that day?
Pretty much from noon until the concert,
And when had the defendant been drinking that day?
Along with me all day long, yeah.
So you were drinking home and you were driving while you were drinking?
No, I wasn't driving while I was
Not while you were drinking, but you had been drinking all day and you got behind the wheel of the car.
That is correct.
So what happened in the car, if you remember?
Oh, I remember. Very nice. She attacked me. I pulled over because it almost
Tell me how
wrecked.
she attacked you.
She came across my face and scratched me. And
Well, what were you arguing about that caused that?
Just that she wanted to stay and I didn't. And she was being just the normal self that she always is when she takes her pills. And I didn't want to, have to take care, because she can't walk or talk after a certain amount of them, and I have to take care of her, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So I pull over into a parking lot and try to calm her down. She's running around the parking lot screaming, out of control. I can't calm her down. People call the cops. They come and they arrest me. And then they
Do
get
you have a police report?
She did.
I'd like
I
to
never
see the
got
police
one.
report.
I never did get a police report.
I'd like to see the police report, and I would also like to see the pictures.
Here's the proof of the pills, too. If you know. She just got 120 more of them 2 weeks ago. That's probably why she can't stand up.
No.
You want pills now, Ms. Funger?
No, I haven't been.
You willing to take a drug test?
I'm willing to.
Hair follicle test?
Sure.
We'll arrange for that.
Mr. Evgene has been taking drugs.
I'm just asking you, are you prepared to take a hair follicle test?
Yes.
Today?
Yes.
And you will either be exonerated or humiliated. Don't waste my time. Don't waste his time. If you've taken any drugs, it's going to show up in your hair follicle. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay? And you would agree that if you lied to me about using drugs now, so you don't have any pills in your system, that I would have serious reservations about everything else that you told me. Do you understand
Correct.
that?
You can test Mr. Evgene, too.
I'm just asking you.
Okay.
His behavior is not bizarre. Yours is.
I'm very nervous.
That's not nerves. That's more than nerves.
Amen.
Been in the business a long time.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robert Evgene says his ex-fiancée, Kimberly Fonger, owes for a false arrest and for the return of his property and his dog. Kimberly is countersuing for medical bills from an assault.
Well, so according to the police, you were both drunk as skunks that day. Both of you. According to the police, you both had visible signs of injury. You had a bloody lip, and he had bloody scratches on his face. They decided to arrest him, right?
Correct.
You deserve to be arrested. You were driving drunk.
Mm-hmm.
You had a fight with her. So your statement that her behavior caused you to be arrested, that's not true. She may have contributed to it, but your own behavior caused you to be arrested.
Her behavior was the one
Your
that...
own behavior caused you to be arrested, sir. If you were not drunk, you wouldn't have been put in that situation.
If she had not called attention to everybody and had the cops call...
You're ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's what happens when you drink and drive.
I understand that, but I could have
That's what happens when you drink and drive.
Could have sat in my truck all night and no one would know I've been drunk, you know, unless someone called them. And she's the one that had
Or
them.
unless you hit somebody who was traveling with their 4 children in a car.
That's another story.
That's another story.
Yeah.
I have zero
Tolerance.
sympathy for you.
I understand that.
Zero sympathy for you. I have less sympathy for you. But right now, I'm telling you right now, my inclination is to let you, if you're sober now, terrific, but to let you two drunks who were drunk on January 9th go your own way, and whatever happened to you that day, that's it. He was injured, you were injured, he got to spend some time in jail, had to bail himself out, lost a dog, lost some property, which, by the way, you have his property?
No, it's mine.
What property did she take?
The dog, the TV, the VCR, the bed.
How long had you been living together?
3 years.
I'm not bothering with it. That's your problem.
The dog, though, is like a kid. You can't take a kid from you. It's like taking a kid from you. How do you do that?
You've been living together for 3 years, is that right?
I paid for everything. It's my dog.
How long have you had the dog?
2.5 years.
Good. Can I see the medical records, please?
Yes. As well, this is the AKC, and it's
This is
wrong.
the medical records?
Yes.
That's what she has.
Thank
And
you.
Your Honor, I have a tape that says the dog's mine.
I don't care what you have. I just told him he's not getting the dog back. This is not the hospital record, madam. This is not a medical record. This tells you what to do in case you have serious vomiting or worsening or a headache or whatever. I'm not interested in that.
That's from the hospital.
Well, it's not enough for me. Could you pass this back to her, please? He had a swollen lip. He had a scratched face. Sounds to me as if you two people who were intoxicated in a car got exactly what you both deserved. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was just waiting to happen. It was one of those relationships that, you meet in rehab, and they tell you not to date, and they're right. You don't do it.
Don't meet a man in rehab.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Frith versus Austin, step forward.
19-year-old Kimberly Frith is suing her mother, Ruth Austin, for spending a settlement check for an injury she received as a young girl.
Miss Frith, this is your mom.
Yes, ma'am.
Your complaint alleges that when you were a youngster, 6,
Yes, ma'am.
you were bitten by a dog.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a lawsuit filed, and there was a settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents got the settlement, your mother and your father. Your parents are divorced now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you turned 18, your father gave you half of
We settled
the
out of
settlement.
court. Yes, ma'am.
And you want the other half from your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
And your mother says that that money was just used to live.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have the paperwork on the settlement?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it. I assume, Miss Frith, you and your mom have been at odds.
A little bit, yeah.
How old are you now?
I am 19.
And you live with whom?
Well, I'm staying with my father right now. I'm in the process of moving.
What are you doing?
I'm an in-home support specialist. I work with handicapped children.
Okay. So after the attorney was paid, the entire amount was $2,641. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how you resolved this with your father.
We settled because he's been paying my cell phone bill for the past 2 years, and I've been staying with him, not paying any rent.
When did you make the arrangement with him with regard to paying your cell phone bill as a quid pro quo of this money?
When I turned 18, because my father also had spent $1,000 of my money when my grandfather passed away. And when I turned 18, he started paying the cell phone bill. And I asked him if he would help me out to go to school. And I'm actually in the process of going to school, and he's given me some money for that.
Well, this money was put into a bank account, was it not, Miss Austin?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Back then, we had no money. We lived in motels. I worked 2 different jobs. Her dad worked shows, you know, flea markets, whatever, and we just didn't have any money.
Was there anything in the paperwork that directs that this money be placed in an interest-bearing account for your benefit?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you have her read it to me? Read to me the part of that you believe directs that this money be placed in an interest-bearing account for you. I don't see that in your paperwork, but if you believe that it's there, I'm asking you to read it to me, Miss Frith.
Ma'am.
Just read it to me.
The undersigned understand that the parties hereby release admit no liability of any sort by reason of said accident, and that said payment and compromise is made to terminate further controversy respecting all claims for damages that said minor or undersigned have heretofore asserted or might personally.
Correct. That's a general release. That means that your parents, on behalf of themselves and you, release the person who owned the dog from any further lawsuits.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all that says.
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't say that your parents are obligated to put the money in an interest-bearing account and turn it over to you when you're 18. If you had bills, if you had anything that was related to the dog bite, that money could be used for that, if they wished. I'm looking for a legal hook for you, and I don't see it.
Ma'am, what I was told is that if
you can't tell me what you were told. What you were told is hearsay.
If the money was not spent on me, then it shouldn't have been spent.
Is that what you think?
That's what I've seek legal counsel, and that's what I've been.
That's hearsay, and I can't help you with it.
They weren't living in a motel at the time.
I don't care whether they were or not.
It would have been put in an interest-bearing account if they actually taken it to court, but they just released the check believing that my parents would do what they were supposed to do.
Well, they didn't.
They didn't, and I'm upset.
I can see that you're upset. I can see that you're upset.
Yes, ma'am.
But what I'm telling you is you don't have a legal basis to be upset. You have a moral basis to be upset, but you don't have a legal basis to be upset. Your parents signed off on it, probably selfishly and stupidly, both of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this was fast money, and they didn't have to wait for the matter to go to trial, where they might have gotten some more money, but then the court would have been involved in setting up what they call a structured settlement for a minor. And the structured settlement for the minor would have said this money has to go into a certain kind of account and can only be touched in case of absolute necessity. Parents make mistakes all the time, and they act selfishly all the time, and that's what your mother and your father did. But that doesn't mean that you have a legal claim against your mother for half the money.
Well, that's what I believe the parents' release and indemnity agreement was.
No. Parents' release just says that they release the owner of the dog from any further liability in consideration of the $4,000 less attorney's fees.
Well, I'm the one that's left with the scars. They're not.
You're absolutely right. I said to you, you have a reason to be morally distressed, but not legally distressed. So, I understand your position, and I understand your consternation What I don't understand is, I don't consider it a big deal that your father has paid your phone bill. And I don't think it's a big deal that your father has let his daughter live in his house when she's 17 and 18 years old, rent-free. That's not a big deal. If I could have gotten away with that with my children, I would be dancing a big old dance right now. And if your father is going to help you pay for school, that's what your father is supposed to do.
And that's what my mother
That's what your father is supposed to do.
My mother's
and if your mother
also
is
supposed
able,
to
just
do
a
that.
second, and if your mother is able to, and she's not doing it, then she's not a good mother. That's not what we have courts for. What I'm telling you is your father is supposed to do whatever he's been doing for you.
And I have been helping, ma'am.
Well, I don't know how you've been
helping, putting me in debt.
Just a second. Clearly, your daughter is angry with you for
She's very
something.
angry. Yes, ma'am.
For
She's very
something,
angry.
which I'm not getting into now
Right.
because, quite frankly, I don't care why she's angry with you.
Right.
Sometimes teenage girls get angry with their mother, and they don't get happy with their mother until they're 30. And they stay happy with their father just because. That's what happens.
Right.
That what happens? Yeah, sometimes.
That's what happens.
In
Yeah.
any event, your father doesn't deserve any kudos for doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's supporting his child. How long have your parents been divorced?
9 years.
And who did you live with initially?
Well, we stayed with our mom, but I just
For how
ventured
long?
out with friends.
For how long did you stay with your mother?
I was 11 when I was about a year.
And after the year?
I moved in with some friends.
When you were how old?
12, 13, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
No. No.
You may have spent a lot of time with your friends, but
No.
I don't believe that when you were 11 or 12 years old, you moved in with
She
friends.
lives with me.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
No,
All right, Ms. Frith, I'm sorry, but you don't have a claim against your mother. Case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused for next 3:38 on the calendar in the matter of Calderon versus Calderon.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. Calderon, this is your former wife, according to your complaint. Subsequent to your divorce, when all matters of finances had been resolved, your wife used a credit card that was in your name without your authorization. And it was a gas credit card. And according to you, in a very short period of time, a few days, she ran up a bill of well over $500. You want to be compensated for that. Ms. Calderon states in her answer that she believed that you left this card open for her because you were being a nice guy and you knew that she was struggling financially. Of course, you say that when you confronted her with it, her reaction was somewhat different. Can I see a copy of your judgment of divorce, please?
Yes.
You were married for 25 years?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Is that right? And you have kids?
Yes.
How many children?
2.
Grown?
Yes.
It is clear from the judgment of divorce that any and all liabilities incurred after December 14th of 2004 belong to each of you separately. Now, when were these credit card bills made?
October 13th through the 19th
Of 2005?
of 2005. I have a
Can I see them,
statement.
please? How did you become aware of them, sir?
I have received a letter of address change, and I knew that I had not changed my address. I didn't even know the credit card existed. And when I called them, they told me that I had requested to change my address, and I thought that there was something wrong with that and asked if there was any charges on the account.
Okay, Ms. Calderon, the ball is in your court. Explain it to me, please.
Basically, the reason that I was in the situation I was in is because I was so heavily in debt and destroyed from what he had done to me from this divorce, because he knew that last year when my daughter graduated high school, my oldest daughter graduated college, and my oldest daughter got married, that I had put a lot of money into that. And
This has nothing to do
well,
with that.
but this is why I
Ms.
was.
Calderon,
This is why.
This has nothing to do with that. This is not.
I would have never
even-
used it though. if
This
it
is
wasn't-
not even a large amount of money. We're talking about a gas credit card where it's clear you allowed someone else to use this gas credit card.
I got gas for my kids. We were all struggling. He destroyed us all.
Just a second. In 4 days, you got gas for your children. You
Yeah.
have 2 children and yourself.
Right.
You filled up the cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what's $98.20. That's not a car fill up. Or $83.
Or a case of oil.
A case of oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 times. Let us assume 3 people's cars. 13 times in a 4-day period. So, Ms. Calderon, don't play with me. This is not because you needed money.
Yes, it was.
When you enter into an agreement, and I assume that this was your agreement, it looks as if it was boilerplate clauses. You agreed that after December of 2004, you would not make any debts for the other party. You chose not to do that.
His friend told my daughter that he left the card open for me to use because he felt sorry for me because he knew how hard of a time I was having.
Oh, okay, well, that's a different story. Is that person here today?
Yes.
Step up, sir. Tell me your name.
David Dover.
Mr. Dover, did you ever tell Mr. Calderon's daughter that this credit card was left open?
No, ma'am. I never knew the card existed. I never knew anything about it.
Step up. You're the daughter.
Yes.
Your name?
Angela Schubert.
Angela, tell me about this alleged conversation.
We were going to dinner for my birthday, and I was sitting in front, and we had just found out I was pregnant that day. It was August 18th. We picked up my dad from work, and we work at, well, it was before we picked him up for work. And we were just talking about the divorce, you know. I was trying to get to know him since, you know, he lives with my dad now. And he just happened to say, well, your dad did leave a gas card open for your mom. Because we didn't know, because all the gas cards were closed.
Let me ask you this question. Somebody must have been complaining about money.
No.
So, because the statement that you ascribed to this gentleman, well, this is what you said, well, your dad did leave a gas card open for your mom.
We were talking
is
about,
always a response to something said to him.
We were talking about how hard it was for everyone in the divorce, how it happened. We were talking about how hard it was. And he said, well, you know, your dad left a gas card open for your mom, and, you know, to help her out a little bit.
And you went back and told her, shh.
I didn't tell her right away.
You didn't tell her right away. When did you tell her?
Maybe a week, week and a half, 2 weeks tops.
Okay, so a week and a half, 2 weeks tops, you tell your mother. And your mother didn't have this credit card.
Yes, I do.
Just a second. You didn't have it. According to you, you found it. Listen to me. You found it. When did you find it?
I wasn't trying to use any of the credit cards.
When did you find it?
When she told me he left it open for me and we were having such a hard time.
Well, did you call him and say...
I can't. We don't communicate.
What do you mean? You don't have a telephone?
He communicates through the kids.
Before I would extend his credit based upon hearsay, I would have picked up a telephone or sent him a note. Is it true that I can use this credit card? I certainly would have at least, if I believed that it was true that he held open this credit card, Miss Calderon, I would have tried it for 1 month. He would have gotten the bill, and he would have said, well, I have a $40 bill for gas. I wonder what this is from. But you didn't do that. You charged $500 worth of gas in 4 days. And then, according to your former husband, when he confronted you, because you did call her.
I actually contacted her via email. I don't call her. I had to change my number so many times.
Fine. So you didn't?
But I did contact her.
And what was her response?
She said that go ahead and prosecute her. It would be well worth it for the look on my face.
Can I see it, please?
I was shocked that he wanted to prosecute me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I still am in shock that he's done what he's done to us. And
You're shocked.
I never thought he was that cold-blooded, and I still can't believe it.
And later today.
I said, I'm calling the police. And she said she took them and she pawned them and she thought she could get them back in my jewelry box before I noticed.
That's what drug addicts do, not casual marijuana smokers.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Alan Calderon says ex-wife Linda Calderon made unauthorized charges on his credit card.
Well, this email acknowledges, Miss Calderon, that you used this card, but you said, I figured I'd be able to make payments just like you would.
If he had a problem with what I got. But I got things to help us because I knew how he always tries to make himself appear to be generous, but his MO is not generosity. And
Listen
I knew
to me, he doesn't have to be generous with you anymore.
He has never been generous with
Miss Calderon, then you stayed with somebody for 25 years who wasn't generous. You're divorced now. And what you have to do is you have to put a period and move forward. The economics of divorce is never easy. When you try to run two households on the same salaries that you were using to support one household, that's never easy for anybody. But what you cannot do is, you cannot say, I have a contract, and I'm not satisfied with the terms of the contract, so I can, because of necessity, because I was married to him for 25 years, because we have children together, they have needs, whatever, I'm going to extend his credit. You can't do that.
I still am in shock that he's done what he's done to us.
Listen to me.
And
You're shocked.
I never thought he was that cold-blooded, and I still can't believe it.
The retaliation was not to use a credit card.
I didn't do it in retaliation.
Well, then you got to pay it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $507. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was married to a snake, and I had no idea I was.
My ex-wife has been harassing me, and this is just another form of harassment.
It's all because of self-indulgence and selfishness that someone would do this to their family in the first place.
She actually moved out on me, but if you hear her talk, she'd think that, I left her.
I don't know who he is, and I thought that, he really was trying to be generous and help us.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Schoonmaker versus Huddleston. Step forward.
Susan Jane Schoonmaker is suing her daughter, 20-year-old Heather Huddleston, for stealing and pawning her wedding rings. Heather claims she had her mother's permission.
The Schoonmaker, this young lady is your daughter, and according to your complaint, she owes you some money. She owes you some money because, as a result, according to you, of her drug abuse, she fell behind in her rent. She and her boyfriend, and she came to you for money, and you gave her jewelry to pawn. She pawned the jewelry. She was supposed to get it out. She didn't. You lost the jewelry. You want the money. Is that right?
Well, she also stole my wedding rings out of my jewelry box and pawned them without my knowledge.
For how long has your daughter had a drug problem?
I didn't know that she had one. She told me it was her boyfriend.
When she came to you and asked for money, she told you that the boyfriend had a drug problem?
She said that he was spending money on things he shouldn't be. He was doing drugs and stuff like that.
So then why in the world would you give her jewelry to pawn?
I gave it to her so she would have a place to live. I didn't want her.
Why couldn't she come home?
I have other children that I don't want exposed to the lifestyle that she was doing.
Well, just a second. I thought you said there was nothing wrong with her lifestyle. It was the boyfriend.
I don't know what her lifestyle was. I know that she was spending money and doing things that she should not be doing.
Then
That's the reason that
you
she
shouldn't
left.
have given her your jewelry.
You're right.
So then what are you doing in court?
I'm doing it in court because she stole rings from my jewelry box that I had no knowledge of.
I want you to forget about the pawn jewelry.
Right.
And I think that you knew what her lifestyle was, and that if you gave her jewelry to pawn, there was no legitimate expectation of you getting this money back, because drug abusers don't return money. Drug abusers put money in their arms or up their noses. Right, Miss Huddleston?
Yes, ma'am.
Your mother says that after she gave you this jewelry to pawn, which you did, you stole some property from her. Did you?
That's not true.
Well, tell me about these wedding rings that she said that you took.
The wedding rings she never wore, and I came upon a time when I needed money for rent, and she told me to go ahead and take the jewelry out of her jewelry box, the wedding rings, to pawn them so I could pay rent, because she never wore them. She hasn't worn them in 5 years.
That's not true.
What other jewelry did she give you?
Previously, she had given me a bag of gold necklaces and a ring that my grandmother had given her. She offered it. I never asked her for money. I told her that I was having problems, and she offered it to me.
That's not true.
What kind of drugs were you or are you involved with?
I was smoking marijuana, and she knew.
And the boyfriend?
Anything and everything.
But not you?
The only thing I ever did was marijuana.
Susan Jane Schoonmaker says her daughter, Heather Huddleston, stole her wedding rings and pawned them.
Still with the boyfriend?
Nope.
Who do you live with now?
I live with friends in Arizona.
Do you work?
Not yet. I'm a student.
You're a student where?
At massage therapy school.
Who pays for it?
I got a grant.
Pays for your living expenses?
I do.
From what?
I have money.
From what?
Doing various jobs. I clean houses and babysit.
Oh, what a bunch of baloney. What a bunch of baloney.
It's true.
My dear Miss Huddleston, you wouldn't know the truth if it came up and cracked you in the face. The wedding rings When did you find out that they were missing?
When I went to I always go into my jewelry box because I keep my earrings and everything in there. I wasn't wearing the rings because one of the diamonds was loose.
Don't tell me what you weren't wearing them. You weren't wearing them.
I wasn't wearing them, and they were gone. I called her at school. She was going to massage therapy school at the time when this happened, and I said, my wedding rings are gone. Do you know where they are? Have you done? She goes, no, I don't know, but when I come home, I will help you find them. And she came home, and I sat her down, and I said, I'm calling the police. And once the police are involved, if you're involved, you're going to jail because I can't stop it. And she said she took them, and she pawned them, and she thought she could get them back in my jewelry box before I noticed.
That's what drug addicts do.
I know.
Not casual marijuana smokers. How much were the wedding rings pawned for?
$150.
Did you go to the pawn shop to try to get them back?
I didn't know what pawn shop it was, and her boyfriend called me and told me after she left him for no reason. He didn't even know that she had left him, that he went down to the pawn shop because that's where he gave her the money to go down and pick them up and bring them to me. She told me she was on her way to my house to do laundry and bring me my rings and never showed up. And this is the first time I've seen her since then. The pawn shop had sold all the rings a while ago.
You know who she's living with now?
A guy that she met on the internet.
One guy? Or
One
friend?
guy with his old girlfriend and his baby.
How old is she?
She'll be 21 in December. I've tried to help her. I don't know how else to help her. And I feel like she needs to start paying for the things that she's doing. And I just thought here at least she would start seeing what her actions are going to start becoming. They're going to get worse. I don't want to have to pick her up in jail. And I won't.
Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you're ready to turn your life around.
That's what I'm hoping.
When did she leave home?
She left home when she was 19.
You go to live with this boyfriend?
She knew him a week and left.
Who else lives at home with you?
My 17-year-old daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, and my 10-year-old son.
You know what these rings were appraised for that you took?
I went in and I got an estimate on what it would cost to replace all of the rings.
Not all the rings.
No, I know, but it has just them separated. My wedding ring and my engagement ring set is on here. $28.99 for the engagement ring and $880 for the wedding ring.
Are you still married to the man who gave you the rings?
Yes, I am. We've lived together for 16 years.
He's not her father?
He's not her father. But you'd never know the difference.
Anything you want to say?
She told me that those rings were remnants of an unhappy marriage and that she was happy to get rid of them. And that's why she let me pawn them. And I
never said that.
I just think it's really funny, you know, she was helping me out, and now because she's getting in trouble from my stepdad and my grandma, she's got to turn around and blame it on me, and I just don't think that's fair.
What do you think is fair?
I didn't do anything wrong. She gave it to me.
You did do something wrong. You came to your mother and you said, I got a drug addict boyfriend, I'm behind in the rent, you were living a lifestyle that was inappropriate, and you came to your mother, who clearly is not a rich lady, because if she was a rich lady, she would have had the money to give you for the rent. She didn't, so all she had was this bag of jewelry, and you're a big girl. You chose to be a big girl. You chose to move out of your house and live on your own.
I never asked her to help me. She offered to help.
How would she know that you needed anything unless you came to her and said, I don't have rent? Listen to me. How would she know that you needed money unless you came to her and told her that you didn't have rent money?
Because I came over one day and I was upset. And like any caring mother would, she asked what was wrong. At least I thought she was caring. Sorry.
You got to do the right thing. You still have time. If you continue to make bad choices in your life, you know what's going to happen. You're going to end up being, instead of a 20-year-old bum, a 40-year-old bum. If you lie down with dirt, you get dirty. Did you ever hear that expression? Did everybody say anything like that to you? If you lie down in dirt, you're going to get dirty. And it sounds to me like you went from the frying pan into the fire. It's not too late. You're still a young girl. But you better start making right choices. Because if you don't make right choices, you're going to end up a 40-year-old dirty girl instead of a 20-year-old dirty girl. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. 64 on the calendar in the matter of Overturf Crawford versus Cooper. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
What's your name, sir?
Jerry Overturf.
Is this your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
She can sit down. Mr. Overturf, this is your former wife.
Yes.
You have 2 children.
That's correct.
Together. You have custody of the two children, pursuant to the judgment of divorce?
Yes.
How old are your children?
My son is 14 and my daughter is 16.
And how long have you been divorced?
A couple years,
How long have you and your former wife been separated?
3 years.
During that 3-year period, did your son and your daughter always reside with you?
My son has always resided with me. She took my daughter with her
When did your daughter come to live with you?
just about 2 years this month.
So far, is that all correct?
Samantha hasn't always resided with us. She came to us when she was 2 months old. She's an adopted daughter.
She's your daughter. Now, you have primary physical custody of the children, and your daughter was visiting with her mother. When did this visit begin?
The first part of June of this year.
Was she supposed to spend the summer?
She was going to go down there and be with her until about the 6th of July.
And your arrangement was that Mrs. Cooper, is this your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
That Mrs. Cooper would pay for her transportation back and forth for the visit,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Correct.
That was your arrangement. But something happened during the course of that visit, and Mrs. Cooper had your daughter, whose name is
Samantha.
arrested and taken into custody for theft.
Correct.
And you had to go to where she was to have her released to your custody. You want your former wife to pay your expenses in going down to pick up your daughter. And you also have some nonsense claim involving your girlfriend because your girlfriend was so upset about the whole situation, it exacerbated a medical condition that she has.
That's incorrect. She already had this condition, and we'd been in to see the doctor. The doctor had said that she was having a major anxiety attack and had put her on some medication. And said
This
that
is your girlfriend?
It's my girlfriend, yes.
Well, what I said pretty much, Mr. Overture, was that you believe that this whole situation with your daughter exacerbated your girlfriend's medical condition. Isn't that what you're claiming?
Well,
Anxiety, stress, whatever it was, and you believe that your former wife should be responsible for that.
it added to it because we were asked to stay.
Tell your girlfriend to get over it. That's not what courts are about. You have a difficult family situation, you have 2 teenage children, and if she can't deal with it, she shouldn't be involved with you. But you don't come into court and sue for that kind of nonsense. That's why I told her to sit down. She has no lawsuit, so she's out of the picture. Now, let's deal with the fact that you had to go to get your daughter out of jail. You want to tell me when and why you had your daughter incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am. She seems to be developing some bad habits, you might say. Her sophomore year, which was last school year, she was truant November to December, and the only reason I found that out was because I checked online for her attendance. So she ended up with 0 credits for her sophomore year. So
let's get to June and July, please, why you had her incarcerated.
So she come down with me, and
where do you live?
Flagstaff, Arizona.
And where do you live?
Meridian, Idaho.
And she was with me. She didn't want to do anything except lay on the couch and talk to her friends on the phone. She used up 340 minutes worth of phone time the first 2 days she was there, so I refused to buy her any more phone time. And towards the end of her visit, she got in my purse and got my ATM card out and started charging phone calls to her friends on my card. And around the 1st of July, I checked my account, and there's all these charges. I'm like, what's going on here? So I confronted her about it, and she smugly says, yeah. I was like, okay. So I called the Flagstaff Police Department and had an officer come out and told him what was going on. And he goes, do you want her arrested or don't you? And I said, I don't think I have any other choice as a responsible parent. And so I had her arrested for misuse of a credit card.
How old was your daughter? Your daughter's 16?
16.
16. You thought you had no other choice but to have your 16-year-old daughter, who is not in your custody, arrested for using the telephone? I'm not mitigating what she did by going to your, if she in fact did it, and I believe she did it, right?
Yes.
And she went to your pocketbook, she took your credit card, she used the phone for hours and hours and hours, ran up a phone bill, didn't have your permission to do that, right?
Correct.
I still don't understand why you had her arrested.
Because it's against the law, ma'am. Tough love.
Well, Miss Cooper, sometimes tough love is appropriate when you are a consistent, constant parent, and sometimes, you know, despite your best efforts as being a hands-on, I'm there every minute of the day, parent. Your child strays. But if your daughter was visiting you for a month, it would seem to me that you were not terribly prudent by calling the police and responding to her use of the phone in that way. She did what teenagers do. Are these your only 2 children?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Bird has children, teenagers, right, Bird?
Yep.
And I've had a whole bunch of teenage children. And I'm going to tell you that they can use that phone and they can think of more schemes and scams not to get caught. I had one that used to change phone plans, you know? And she figured by the time all this works out, right, I'm going to be away in college. And she was right. I didn't call the police and have her arrested. When she's 16, does she go to an adult prison or does she go to a juvenile facility?
A juvenile facility, ma'am.
And how old are the kids who were in the juvenile facility? Up to what age?
When they turn 18, they go to the adult facility.
So, women up to the age of 18.
Yes, ma'am.
And they've committed what kind of crimes?
Any kind of crime.
Any kind of crime. Robbery, drugs. Had your daughter ever been arrested before?
No, ma'am. She's lucked out on that. She's driven without driver's license. She's smoked pot. She's done all sorts of things. And she's lucked out.
Driven without a driver's license? Smoke pot? Did you ever have any of your kids arrested?
No.
Me neither. You talk to them, you're aggravated, you don't sleep at night, you stay up when they're out. There are a lot of things that you do. You either lose weight, or you gain weight, or you start smoking, or you start drinking, or whatever it is during those teenage years. But I never would have a child arrested for what really amounts to the overuse of a telephone.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How many days did you spend in jail, Samantha?
I actually spent about 6 hours, and then I was released to an alternative home.
Have you spoken to your mother since July?
No.
She has some thinking to do.
And later today,
You did not say it was a gift.
No, I did
Right.
tell him that it was a
Right.
gift.
He's absolutely right. Your conduct is outrageous. And standing there and lying is even more outrageous.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jerry Overturf says his ex-wife, Mary Jo Cooper, had their 16-year-old daughter thrown in jail for stealing. Mary Jo says she was practicing a little tough love.
Now, what do you want to say?
Well, Your Honor, I wanted to say that maybe my wife has forgotten a few things that her daughter's done, or maybe she doesn't want to mention it, such as stealing from her other family and friends. She is on a path that is not in her best interest.
And you
my wife
think that a period of incarceration in a juvenile facility was going to mend her ways, sir?
I certainly do.
Now you may be seated, Mr. Cooper. Now, did you have to bail your daughter out?
No, ma'am, I did not.
You just had to sign her out.
That's correct.
If you hadn't gone to Arizona, how long would she have stayed in jail? Do you know?
No, I do not.
Okay. Samantha, your turn, right up here. Now, why'd you take your mother's card?
I had, like she said, used a lot of minutes the first 2 days I was there.
Why?
Homesick, wanted to talk to my friends, don't know anybody.
Okay.
I had money my dad sent down with me. I offered to buy a card if she would just take me to the store. And I know it wasn't right what I did, even though I didn't have the card. I wanted her to take me to the store, that's all. And I would pay for the minutes on the card.
Okay. Did you play hooky from school most of last year?
I did.
Why?
I had some troubles with school last year.
What kind of troubles?
I didn't like the school. It was a change. I went from a small high school to over 1,000 kids in one school. It was a big change.
What did you do when you stayed home?
Slept, just lazy.
And what about your father? Did he try to convince you to get to school?
Yeah, so it was my fault. It wasn't my dad's.
What about this year?
I'm going full-time. I love my new school. I go to an alternative school. I have A's and B's.
Have you spoken to your mother since July?
No.
She has some thinking to do. I hope she has some thinking to do. Now, the day that you got there, were you able to have her released to your custody?
They were very good about it. When we got in, it was late in the evening, and they did something that they said that they normally don't do. They went ahead and woke her up. I got in at 1 o'clock in the morning. We signed an agreement, and I left my phone number, and they've been checking in on us to see how she's doing and making sure there's no problems whatsoever.
How many days did you spend in jail, Samantha?
I didn't spend any days. I actually spent only about 6 hours, and then I was released to an alternative, like, home thing.
Did you like the 6 hours in jail?
No.
Okay. Ms. Cooper, you had an obligation to ensure that your daughter would be safely returned on time to his home. You chose not to do that. I think that you made the wrong judgment. I think that you didn't handle this in a way that was in your child's best interest. That's my judgment. And I come from a position of law enforcement. I think that there are certain times when you have to resort to tough love for a child when their life is at risk. But in this situation, you were angry because your daughter seemed to be embarking on a path that you thought was going to lead her to no good. That usually requires you saying to a child, listen, I want to go into some counseling with you. I've made an appointment with a therapist. I want to sit down. I want to find out what's bothering you. That should not trigger you calling the police and saying my daughter stole money from my wallet. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was a vindictive move is what she was trying to do.
I know that it was wrong that I took her credit card.
I think Samantha is basically a real good person, has a lot of potential.
She's a beautiful person. She can do it if she wants to.
Pushed her away, pushed the whole family away is what she's done.
I don't talk to her.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Graham versus Goins. Step forward, please.
Housekeeper Dorothy Graham is suing her daughter, 24-year-old homemaker Tina Goins, for the unpaid balance on a computer. Tina claims the computer was a Christmas gift.
Ms. Graham, this young lady is your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that you made a loan to your daughter to enable her to buy a computer.
Yes, ma'am.
The agreement was that she would pay off the computer. It is your claim that she made some payments on the computer and then stopped, and you want her to pay the balance.
Yes, ma'am.
Your daughter says that the computer was a gift, that she did make some payments on the computer, but that was really done just to help you out when you were having some financial difficulty.
No, ma'am, that's not true.
How old are you?
24.
Are you divorced?
No, I'm not married.
You have children?
I have 2.
How old are they?
7 and 2.
Who do you live with?
My boyfriend.
Is he the father of any of these children?
He's the father of my 2-year-old.
Does he work?
Yes, he does.
What kind of work does he do?
He does construction.
Does he work all the time?
Every day.
Does he have children?
Just
other
the
than
one
a
we have
2-year-old?
together.
That's the only child he has?
Yes.
How long have you been living on your own?
Since I was 15.
How come?
Because I moved out with my first son's father.
And you moved again?
Yes.
With your present boyfriend?
No, on my own. Me and just my son.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Dorothy Graham says her daughter, Tina Goins, owes for a computer. Dorothy claims Tina started paying for it and then stopped.
Tell me about this computer.
Well, it was Christmas of 2000, and before Christmas, I had asked my mom if she would co-sign for me a computer because I was pregnant and I wanted to stay at home and do medical billing from home. Well, she said, no, I'm not going to co-sign for you. I'll buy you one for Christmas. It'll be a gift from me to you for Christmas. And I said, okay. And she didn't get the computer at Christmas because I lived in a small duplex and I was fixing to move and I didn't have room for it. So we waited until like February of March of 2003 and then we ordered the computer through Dell and she paid for it.
There came a time when you made some payments. When was the first payment that you made?
The first payment that I made was in October of 2003.
October, why did you make that?
Because
for you, first
she
payment?
was hurt on the job and she was off of work and she didn't have the money to pay for it at that time.
Did she call you and ask you to do it?
Yes, she did.
And how much was that payment in October?
$44 a month.
How many payments of $44 did you make?
Probably about 7.
When did you stop making the payments?
In August.
Why?
Because our car broke down the day the computer payment was due, and that's all the money that I had in the bank, and we had to get our other car fixed because my boyfriend needed a way back and forth to work, and I have kids I have to take to school every day.
Okay, now let me hear you.
Well, she approached me to buy her a computer because her credit was bad, and she said if I would get it on my credit, then she would pay it off in March when she got her taxes, and she hasn't done that.
Did you have a discussion with her at that time?
Yes, I did, and at that time, she had just had my grandson, and she told me she was going to pay for it, and then she bought a new car instead when she got the money.
When did you start to make payments on the computer?
The first payment I made was in March.
And how come you made the first payment?
Because she didn't have the money to pay it.
Did you have a discussion with her about it?
I believe she gave me the money back in March, and the last 3 payments I've made, well, the last 4.
When did you ultimately confront your daughter about not making the payments on the computer?
When I was sent a done saying
Can I
it
see it,
hadn't been
please?
paid. Sure. It should be, this should be it. I believe that's it.
Well, this indicates in August that $128 was due, so that they were substantially behind. Did you know that they were substantially behind?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I assume that you had a discussion with your daughter when you received this.
Yes.
When was that?
That was the next day after I paid it.
And what did you tell her?
I told her if I was going to make the payments on it, then I want the computer. And I took a police officer out there and tried to get it, and she refused to give it to me.
Why did you take a police officer out to your daughter's house?
Because I know how she is. She would have fought with me. She'd have called the police on me, and I didn't want that.
So what happened when you got out there with the police?
He went up to the door and talked to her, and she refused to give it to me, told him that they were having hard times, and she planned on catching up the payments. And he told me I couldn't do anything about it unless I filed.
Ms. Goins, did you tell the police officer that you were having hard financial times?
I told him that...
Just answer my question. Did you tell the police officer that you were having hard financial times?
No, ma'am, I did not.
What did you tell the police officer?
I told him that our car had broke down, and that's all the money that I had was enough to get our car fixed.
That's pretty much saying that you had some financial difficulty, right? What? So, you didn't say to the police officer, it's my computer, my mother gave it to me as a gift. What you said to the police officer was, I couldn't make the payments on it because my car broke down. The only money that I had was this $44 to have my car fixed. And therefore, I had to choose between having a car or making a payment on the computer. You did not say it was a gift.
No, I did tell him that it was a gift.
Right, absolutely right. That you're telling me now. You owe your mother the money for this computer. So your conduct is outrageous. And standing there and lying is even more outrageous. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,499. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Turner versus Montoya. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Turner, you look very angry, sir.
Yes, I am.
Life is short, Mr. Turner. This gentleman here is your daughter's ex-boyfriend. This is your daughter?
Yes, it is.
Beautiful girl. How old are you?
21.
How long were you and Miss Turner dating?
Approximately 4 years.
And how old are you, Mr. Montoya?
26.
And during the 4 or so years that you were dating Miss Turner, I assume that you did not have a positive relationship with her father.
Not at all. Since the beginning, he never gave me a chance.
How many daughters do you have, Mr. Turner?
I have 2. I have a 13-year-old also.
Nobody's ever good enough for your daughter, right?
That's correct.
I got it. Because your lawsuit really is pretty silly. When I read it.
I agree.
When I read it and I saw you and I saw your daughter, I said, this lawsuit is more than just about a cell phone that you say that Mr. Montoya stole that you had given to your daughter, because this is what this lawsuit is about. Your claim is that he had a fight with your daughter, which was really, according to you, pretty serious. You know, he ripped her dress, according to you. He rammed into her car, according to you. He stole a cell phone. He attacked her at home. All of those bad things. And all I'm hearing is your lawsuit is for $265.49 because you claim that he stole a cell phone that you had given your daughter.
Yes, he...
Okay. So now I want you to tell me why you're suing this man for $265 for a cell phone. First, when did you give your daughter the cell phone?
Well, it was my phone. I gave it to her that evening when she was going to go to a modeling shooting.
But it was your phone?
Yes.
Your number, it was regularly in your possession. You just lent it to her that night?
Exactly.
I see. And you don't exactly know what happened that evening because you weren't there?
No.
But your daughter was?
Yes.
What night did you have the last fight with your boyfriend?
It was around the end of July. I don't remember the exact date.
Do you know Mr. Turner?
It was the 27th.
Tell me what happened.
We got into a big argument because I wanted to go to a modeling convention and he wanted to go, but I didn't want him to go.
He didn't want to go?
No, I didn't want him.
You wanted to go to a modeling convention?
Yeah, and he wanted to go, but I didn't want him to go.
Oh, he wanted to go with you?
Yeah.
He's worried. Right?
Was.
You were worried at that time.
Yes, Your Honor, I was.
So you like to sort of keep an eye on your
She's
girl.
a pretty girl. I want to keep an eye on her.
Right. Bird, do me a favor. Would you just change position over there and step in between these two people? I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so he wanted to go with you. You said, stay home, and you got into an argument.
Correct.
Go ahead.
So he said he'll make sure I won't go, so that's when he ripped my dress. But he just ripped like a long slit in it where it'll show my underwear, so I couldn't wear the dress. But
did you do that?
Yeah, I admit to that. That's true.
So I changed outfits, and I still decided to go.
Were you living together at the time?
Yes.
How long had you been living together?
We lived together for a year.
For how long didn't your father approve of this arrangement? Long time?
He didn't mind that we were living together, just towards the end when a lot of arguments and things were going on. Him and Mr. Montoya were friends at one point.
But not recently?
Correct.
So what happened next?
So I went to the service station, and he was there, and while I was pumping gas, he took my dad's cell phone, and I asked Montoya to return it to me, and he just got in the car and left.
Totally untrue.
What did you do?
I didn't even see her at any gas station. And I have one comment to make. They said that this occurred on the 27th, I believe, her or her dad just said. I have a written statement that she wrote right here, which says that it occurred on August 3rd.
Let me see.
All these allegations are totally unfalse.
Are totally unfalse?
Totally untrue, I mean, sorry. Mr. Turner has a restraining order against me. And basically, ever since he received this restraining order against me, he's been doing everything possible to try to get me thrown in jail.
You have a child together?
Yes.
Yes.
How old is your child?
He's 2.
Who is he living with now?
He's living with me.
And who are you living with?
My father.
Now, sir, did she call the police when you ripped her dress?
No.
She could have.
She could have.
Right? Because that's a violent act.
Okay,
right? Right? It's a violent
Yes,
act. She
that's
could
true.
have, and she didn't. Why do you think she would lie to me and tell me that you came to the gas station and you took her cell phone?
Because she lives with her dad, and basically what he says goes. She told me that she's going to say whatever her dad says to say because he'll kick her out the home. And he has a restraining order against me when we got into a physical fight. Ever since then, she told me also that he said, well, be careful because my dad feels that you got the best of him, so therefore he's doing anything to get you thrown in jail. He called and said I followed him to the airport. He called and said I followed him to work. He said I flattened his tires. He's just been making all these false statements to get me thrown in
Do you
jail.
have, Mr. Montoya, a bad temper?
No, I do not.
Well, you have to have a bad temper if you ripped her clothes.
I didn't want to put our business out there, but that day, she was basically punching me in my face, scratching me, kicking me.
Why?
And all I did was rip their dress.
Why was she doing that to you?
I think I held myself pretty good.
Why was she doing that to you? Why was she assaulting you?
She was upset between all the things me and her dad had been going through. Because we got into a fight. All this happened before that. And I was in the process of moving. Just my things were there, so I would come back occasionally.
Oh, so you were moving out of the residence?
Yes, I was.
I see. So you were not getting along to begin with. Now, you were not getting along. You're in the process of moving out. But you come home to pick up some of your stuff, and you find that she's going to some modeling class or something. And according to you, you want to go with her. What business was it of yours that she wanted to go someplace that day, that you wanted to be her chaperone?
You're right. That's none of my business. But we're here on a cell phone. We're not here on her dress being ripped.
We hear about what happened that day, sir, and what happened that day and all the surrounding circumstances, because you're not going to say to me, yes, Judge, you're absolutely right. I took the cell phone. You say, I didn't take the cell phone. She says you did take the cell phone. So I have to make a determination, Mr. Montoya, as to whether or not all of the circumstances of that day point to the fact that you did, in fact, take the phone.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You rip her dress, she goes inside, she changes her dress, and walks out of the house, leaving you standing there. And what you're telling me is, well, you just said, okay, I guess she wants to go all by herself and she doesn't want to go with me.
And later today,
I had a sick feeling in my gut that he was cheating on me. I suffer from PMS and I maybe overreacted.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Eugene Turner says His daughter's ex-boyfriend, Ron Matoyer, stole his cell phone. Ron says Eugene has never liked him.
Now, I have to make a judgment. And my judgment has to be, which of the two of you is telling the most cogent story? Which of the two of you is telling the story that makes the most common sense? And when I said to you, why would she not complain about, or not complain to the police, at least, about you ripping her dress or you coming and making a scene at the gas station? But she does say, I want the cell phone back. I just don't want to have anything to do with him anymore. I just want the cell phone back. As opposed to the story that you're telling me. You said, I want to go with you to the modeling class or to the modeling course or whatever it was, and she says, no, you're not going. You have an argument. You rip her dress. She goes inside. She changes her dress, walks out of the house anyway, leaving you standing there. And what you're telling me is, well, you just said, okay, I guess she wants to go all by herself and Phil want to go with me. That's what you want me to believe.
Yes,
well, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
We have a police report too, Your Honor.
Let me see it.
Does he even have proof that he has a cell phone? Does he have a cell phone bill or anything of that nature?
Yes, I do.
Shh. Just, you don't have to answer him. I'm the one who marshals the evidence.
I still need to get over here.
I would if I were you.
Okay.
So this is the report you made to the police, sir. I want you to listen. Maybe this will jog your memory. How do you pronounce your first name?
Shinique.
Shinique told me that Ron, I assume that's you, followed her to the Arco gas station located in the area of Heacock and Postal. She drove into the gas station, and when she got out to pay for the gas, Ron jumped into her car. He grabbed her father's cell phone. Ron began checking the phone's history to determine what calls she had received. Stop smirking, sir. She told him to get out of the car. Ron maintained possession of the cell phone, got out of the car and ran towards his car, which was parked nearby in the same parking lot. Shanique followed Ron on foot in an attempt to retrieve her father's cell phone. He refused to give her the phone. She went to call on a nearby payphone. As she dialed 911, she told Ron that she was calling the police. He took the phone from her and hung up. She tried dialing again, and again he took the phone from her and hung up. Any of that sound familiar?
None of it rings a bell.
None of it rings a bell. Okay. At that time, Mr. Attorney, the police were told that the value of your cell phone was $100.
Yes. But when I went into T-Mobile to get the exact replaced value, they gave me a receipt, and it was $219.
Let me see. Okay. Mr. Matoyer, now I know that you're going to leave here thinking that I've been very unfair to you, that there was no proof, as you say, that you stole the telephone. It's my job to determine who is telling the truth and who is fibbing. And based upon common sense and based upon what I've seen in the police report, I determined that you're the fibber. So you have to pay him $215. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out. I'm back to you right, please.
Apparently, Mr. Matoyer is a compulsive liar.
Everything's untrue, and it's just total lies.
I clapped my daughters through with the bomb.
I got the best of him in the fight, physical fight that he started, so it's all revenge.
I'm just happy with the decision, and she can see that Ron's a liar.
You live and you learn. That's life.
We just stay positive and keep in a positive direction.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Fogg versus Hanson. Step forward, please.
John Fogg is suing his ex-roommate, Carol Hanson, for the return of his belongings and stolen money. Carol claims they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and John cheated.
Mr. Fogg, I gather that you moved into the defendant's home when you lost your prior residence. And according to Miss Hanson, you had a sort of a relationship. She wakes up one morning and finds you not home. She got very angry. She took all your stuff and she brought it to a friend's house, according to you, and you did that about 4:30 in the morning?
Approximately.
So tell me, what day were you unceremoniously evicted from Miss Hanson's home?
August 22nd.
How long had you been there?
3 months, approximately, Your Honor.
Were you a tenant? Were you paying rent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have your own room?
Yes.
And where were you on August 22nd?
I was with my daughter.
Decided to spend the night at your daughter's house?
No, I didn't stay there. I went to the gun club and stayed there. They have a pool table and...
Why?
that belonged to the gun club. I didn't want to go home because she had wrote me a letter. On the 21st, she wrote me a letter that she loved me. And that left me a little apprehensive because she prefers women over men. And I didn't want to be involved in that situation.
Go ahead.
The letter came in on the 21st. On the 22nd, I got a cell phone at 4:50 when I answered it. At 4:50 in the morning, my things were thrown out. And also...
Just a second. The cell phone message was that your things were on the lawn?
They were on the porch at my friend's house.
You were taking them over to a friend of his?
Yes, I packed his belongings very neatly in bags.
Why did you do that?
Because he is a neat freak.
I'm asking, I know why you might do it, that he's a neat freak, but if you were angry because according to your answer, you thought he was cheating on you.
Yes.
So if you were angry, how neatly did you pack up his stuff?
I did pack them neatly. I didn't roll them in balls or anything like that. I had a sick feeling in my gut that he was cheating on me, a feeling that I felt in the past when ex-boyfriends have cheated on me. He didn't come home all night, did not call.
Why didn't you just wait for him to come home and tell him to move?
Because I was afraid that he would charm his way back in, and I was afraid of risking disease.
Disease from what?
Diseases from sexually transmitted diseases.
Well, there's one way to avoid that.
Well, we didn't use condoms in the past.
I don't want to get so personal, Miss Hanson. I just want to explain to you that all you have to do is wait for him to come home, tell him to get his things out of the house. You don't have to have sex with him in order to tell him to do that. But you don't pack up his things in the middle of the night and go and put them on somebody's porch.
In my defense, I suffer from PMS and I maybe overreacted.
Fine. What items do you claim are missing, Mr. Fogg?
Several pairs of cufflinks, which I have pictures of. 2 rings that were in my suit jacket. The OxyContin.
What were your rings doing in a suit jacket?
Because when I left the other premises, I had to take, and it wasn't uncommon for me to put 2 rings in the suit jacket. I had pills, suit jacket, $500. Apparently what I'm thinking is when she moved the clothing, she must have heard the pills inside, and she went through that. The love letter was in there also, and it's all gone.
You said there was cash missing. Where was the cash?
It was in the pocket, because she always would go through my drawers. The drawers that I had, I would put pieces of candy wrappers in. Okay, and every time I come home, the candy wrappers weren't there. So she was always in the drawer. So what I did was I went to the closet and had one inside the hinge. Those were never removed, so I put everything in there. Now, on the other hand, when I went to the police station, which I have reports here, on the 31st, because I was in enough trouble, I didn't want to have any problems with the police.
What do you mean you were in enough trouble?
Well, prior restraining order.
Against you?
Yes.
What did she say you did?
She claims that I pulled her hair in July, and she went to court 9803 saying I pulled her hair in July.
Did you pull her hair in July?
No.
Did you do it in June?
No, I never pulled her hair. If you read the report, it's a joke.
Report, please. Oh, yeah, I thought this was going to be easy. How much after you got this message on August 22nd that your stuff was being tossed did you respond to the location, Mr. Fogg?
I did the next day.
So, of course, it's possible that someone else took your property.
Well, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
It's possible that somebody else took your property. Isn't that right, Ms. Hanson? Well, after you threw it out.
Yes.
That's possible. You're still responsible. Whether you took it, Ms. Hanson, or whether somebody else took it, you're responsible.
Well, 10 days later, he showed up with a police officer, which the officer told him that he would not be charging me and he could just fill out a missing items report.
Of course he was not going to charge you. He's not charging you with necessarily stealing it because there's not enough proof to establish that you stole these items, and I don't think that you probably did steal the items.
I didn't.
You may have, but I don't
didn't.
think you did. Certainly he can't prove that you did. However, he's a paying tenant. You cannot take his stuff and throw it out. And if you do, and if some of his items become missing or stolen by somebody else, you, Ms. Hanson, are responsible because the law says you may not do what you did. The law does not recognize PMS as an excuse for bad behavior. Do you understand?
I understand.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. That's
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Cedarquist versus Spicovius.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Ms. Cedarquist, the defendant was your former boyfriend, and you have a 5-year-old child together.
Yes, that's right.
The complaint is an interesting one. You lived in a house together for a period of time up until when?
June of '07.
And at that time, you separated, and the defendant ultimately left the house. You claim he left the house, leaving certain property there. And the property remained there for 18 months. And you want him to pay storage fees for that property.
Yes, I do.
That's what your case is about.
Yes.
That's not going to happen. Did you have a storage agreement with him?
Yes, we did.
No, you didn't. You never had an agreement that he was going to pay you for storage. As a matter of fact, according to the defendant, which I believe, the reason that stuff was left in the house, at least part of the reason, was the ownership of the house was in dispute, and there was some legal action with regard to who was going to get the house. Is that true?
That's true.
Was the house in dispute?
Yes, it was.
Fine. And when was that dispute resolved?
I lost the action in the first part of '07.
Do you have an appeal pending?
Yes, we have an appeal pending.
At the same time, I understand, based upon your answer, a custody dispute. Is that correct?
That has been resolved now.
How has it been resolved, sir?
We were in the social services system for 18 months, and as of April 1st, the child has been awarded me as the full parent.
When you say you were in the social service system, what does that mean?
During our battles in the past, the police came out and had removed the child and put her into
This
protective
doesn't have
custody.
anything to do with the case, Your Honor. This is private information, and this is a different problem altogether. I don't want to bring my daughter into it. I'd like not to.
I have questions. If you don't want to answer my questions,
I'm just being
you can
protective
leave.
of my daughter.
Your daughter is how old?
She's 5.
Yeah, tell her not to watch. Tell her not to watch. At this point, you're in the house. Some of his property was there. I want to see a copy of a contract that you had with him for storage of whatever property. These were auto parts. I want to see it. You have a copy of a contract?
You know, I do.
I want
do
to see it.
In the sense that...
Just a second. Just give me a copy of a contract of a storage agreement that he made with you to store these auto parts in your house that you sold when?
The last 6 months. And I told him I was going to be selling them for storage, and he, in fact, helped me. I have proof here that he helped me with some of these listings, knowing I was selling them for storage purposes, storage fee purposes.
Show me a contract that you had. Show me.
A written contract that he signed?
Yes.
Not a verbal one?
No.
I don't have one.
And the stuff has been there since June of 2007. Is that correct?
Technically, it's been there
2006.
since 1989.
No, it hasn't, Dirk. No, that's not true. That's
when
not true.
did you first move into the house, Miss Cedarquist?
I moved into the house in of '02.
Sir, I don't understand how it could be there in 1989 if you moved into the house. If she didn't move into the house until 2002.
I purchased the house in 1989. It's been my house. And
Just a minute.
You lost the house in foreclosure.
Oh, forget it. Oh, forget it. Okay. Very good. Now you have a counterclaim. I'm prepared to hear your counterclaim in about 30 seconds. You have a counterclaim for her selling your stuff on eBay?
That is correct.
Did you ever give her permission to sell your stuff on eBay? Just answer the question. That requires a
No.
yes or a no.
No.
I don't believe it. You just started to give me a reason. Did you ever give her permission to sell your stuff on eBay?
Yes, when we were together.
I have proof that shows him giving me permission just months ago.
Mr. Spicovius, if the plaintiff has proof that you gave her permission after June of '07 to sell your property on eBay, I'm not going to be happy with you, sir. Do you understand?
I understand that.
All I want to ask you is, did you give her permission since June of '07 to sell any of your auto parts on eBay?
No.
Fine, show me the proof.
This is
Because
communication.
that's you. Now I'm dealing with his counterclaim. I'm already resolving your claim for storage, which is nonsense.
Well, this is his... This
is nonsense! Did you ever write to her, be extremely careful, the bolts break easy, and it's easy to mess up the strip? Yes, take off the lights and sell separate? And that was written in May of 2008.
Not in May 2008.
Hmm?
No.
Well, that's when it's, I mean, I don't do this machine well, and I certainly don't do eBay well. Isn't that date Saturday, May 24th, 2008? Isn't that what it says, Bird?
That's what it says.
I want to show this to him. May of 08 is after June of 07.
Yes.
Can I also ask you to look at the pictures of of how much stuff there is?
I don't care. You lived in this house together. You lived in this house as a couple. He lived in this house separately. You lived in this house separately. I gather there was some sort of ongoing dispute with regard to the ownership of the house and who should get the house. You got the house. He got the kid. That's the way it worked out. If you're not happy with that, that's too bad. But that's the way it is. You have a child who's 5. Start getting along with each other because you're tied to each other for a long time. If he has primary physical custody of this child now, in the foreseeable future, you better be nice to him and stop irritating him. And you the same, sir. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay? You got to start loving your daughter more than you hate each other. And stop fighting over nonsense,
Yeah,
like storage fees for auto parts.
I have lived my
Listen to
whole
me.
life has been
Listen to
revolved
me.
around
Hey,
these parts.
Listen to me. I'm not hearing any more about your stored auto parts. Do you
Then they're
understand?
mine.
Do you understand?
Then they're mine. I understand.
Perfect.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Patricia Cedarquist says the father of her child, Dirk Spikovius, owes for abandoning his property at her home. Dirk is countersuing Patricia for check fraud and for selling his belongings on eBay.
Now, you still have any property at her house?
Yes, I do.
You have 5 days to go and get the stuff. If you do not get it within 5 days...
Your Honor, I've lived with these for so many years and fought with the city over it, the neighbors. What about damages?
Miss Cedarquist, listen to me carefully. Didn't you have your listening ears on? You have a 5-year-old child that you're hell-bent on protecting.
Yes.
Listen to me carefully. You are tied to him. He is now the primary physical custodian of your 5-year-old.
That will change.
It may, and it may not. And irrespective of whether it changes or not, both of you, based upon the fact that they gave him physical custody now, are going to have input in this child's life. And if a court finds that you're going to impede that, no court will give you custody of a child. I wouldn't give you custody of a child if I felt for 1 second that by giving you custody of this child, she was going to be deprived of her father. And that's the sense that I'm getting from you, Miss Cedarquist. That is the sense that I'm getting from you. Put your listening ears on. You gotta love your child more than you hate each other. He's gonna come within 5 days and pick up all of his junk. And whatever he doesn't pick up with a marshal within 5 days belongs to her.
I gave him so many opportunities.
Hey, I'm speaking. Don't you get it?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Whatever you don't pick up now
In 5
is
days.
hers. Now, based on this, that you can't explain to me, that suggests to me that you lied to me when you said that after June of 07, she never had permission to sell any of your stuff on eBay.
Correct.
So if she sold any of your stuff on eBay for whatever costs, I'm dismissing that part of your counterclaim. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now I'm going to get to this other part of your counterclaim if you still want to pursue it.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
During our breakup, she stole a checkbook and proceeded with check fraud.
You broke up in June of 07,
Correct.
and she stole your checkbook.
Correct.
And when did she write a check out?
She wrote a check out in February 7th of 07. Several checks.
Yes, and when did you find out about it?
Later that month, when
in
my bank
February.
account...
Why in the world would you think that I would entertain that 2 years later?
Because knowing that she doesn't have any money, I wasn't going to pursue it. It was a
Fine.
lost cause.
Well, then you should have pursued it in a more timely fashion. The doctrine is called latches. You sort of waited too long, sir. What else? I'm going to put your listening ears on, too.
Other than a collection agency.
You got to love your child more than you hate each other.
I do.
Good. How often does your daughter see her mother?
2 hours, twice a week, monitored.
By whom?
I was not allowed to be the monitor.
Of course not.
And,
I can understand
so
that.
her son and her daughter do the monitoring.
Do they come to your house or do they take the child to her house?
I drop the child off, and sometimes the grandmother drops the child off.
And she comes back, and that's
I
been
pick her
going
up.
on since when?
As of the beginning of this month, April.
Prior to April, where was the child living?
With me.
Okay, and prior to that, where was she living?
With the paternal grandparents.
With your parents?
With my parents.
Okay, fine. Very good. Listen, try to get along, because if you don't get along with him, you don't want to be relegated to 2 hours twice a week with your daughter.
That will change.
I doubt it.
Oh, it will.
Oh, I doubt it.
I don't.
No. I doubt it.
No, they haven't heard everything.
I doubt it.
Hear about this man.
I doubt it. Your case is dismissed. So's your counterclaim. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He's a liar.
I'm very happy with the judgment.
I call my ex-boyfriend because he took an axe to everywhere in my house. The ceilings, the piano, my glass, everything.
We both were out there with axes and pitches destroying each other's cars and property.
And when the police came, they took my daughter away because he made my home unsafe. Because there was glass everywhere. That's why I don't have her.
It was a scene when you get 9 cop cars out there trying to break us up, trying to decide who to take to jail. Got interesting.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Malburn versus Malburn, step forward, please.
Thomas Malburn is suing his son, Oscar Malburn, for the return of payments made on a motorcycle that Oscar repossessed. Oscar is countersuing for damages to the bike.
Mr. Malburn, this is your son.
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, your son took back a motorcycle that he had previously sold to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And he sold to you, and the conditions of the sale were that you were taking over payments.
Yes, ma'am.
Because he could no longer make the payments on the motorcycle that he purchased. You wanted it. You said, I'll take it off your hands. I'll make the monthly payments. He held the title until the payments were made. You made the payments for how long, sir?
16 months.
And then your son came and took back the motorcycle.
Yes, ma'am.
You want the payments that you did, in fact, make on the motorcycle during that time. Your son says that you violated the agreement because you made your payments late, thereby potentially damaging his credit, and he had every right to take it back. He has a counterclaim that is nonsense. He wants to charge you for renting the motorcycle on a weekly or daily basis. That's dismissed out of hand because that was never your agreement. When did you buy this motorcycle?
August of 2007.
And how much was it?
It was $18,000.
What kind of work were you doing at the time?
I was doing construction, stair builder.
Is this the only vehicle you had?
No, I had a car.
When did you make this arrangement with your father to take over your payments?
In February or March of 2008.
Why?
Because I had lost my job.
When did you lose your job?
In February.
When was the last time you had made a motorcycle payment?
January or December.
You had missed a payment?
Yeah.
Well, if you missed a payment, then your credit was already down the tubes, right?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. But you had missed a whole month.
Yeah.
So when your father took over your payments, he made 2 payments to catch up, correct?
Yeah.
That would be a yes.
Yes.
And did he make the payments each month after that?
He made them each month after that, but he never made them on time.
When were they due?
They were doing the 17th of every month.
Did you make the payments on the 17th of each month?
No, I did not.
Because you're going to show me the payments that you made, right?
Yeah.
Let me see them. You have your checks?
No, I do not. I made it off all through the phone.
When did you take this bike back from your father?
In March.
How much had you paid for the bike?
I paid from August to December.
So you paid for 5 months?
Yeah.
And your father paid for 16 months?
Yeah.
Where's the bike?
In my garage.
You have to give it back to him.
No.
Oh, yeah, you do.
No.
Oh, yeah, you do. You have no defense because the only defense that you presented to me was that you took the bike back because your father made the payments late, thereby jeopardizing your credit. In order for you to be able to establish that he jeopardized your credit, you have to have some credit to jeopardize. You already damaged your credit in December 2008 when you missed a payment. And then, according to your own statement, you made your payments late. So what difference does it make if your father made the payments late or you made the payments late?
No, I made my payments on time.
Did you? Show me you made your payments on time. You can't. And you made a contract with your father. And the contract with your father was he was going to make the payments on your motorcycle, which he did for 16 months. And at the end of that period of time, that took into consideration the entire loan, the title to the motorcycle would be given to him because that was your contract. He actually owned it. It was no different from you were acting as a car dealership. I'm holding the title till you make your payments. As soon as you finish your payments, I'm going to give you the title. That's what you did. You have a written contract with your father?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see it.
He has.
Your Honor,
Can I
have the contract, but he doesn't.
I want to see the contract. Right. This says, to whom it may concern, I am selling my Harley Davidson to my father, Thomas. He will be making the payments on the motorcycle. However, the loan will remain in my name. I am releasing any and all claims of ownership to this motorcycle permanently. And you signed it. He gets the motorcycle back.
No.
Oh, yeah, Marshall's going to come and take it right from your house.
Your Honor.
What?
The motorcycle is in his name. The loan was taken out in his name. So
Yeah.
legally, the motorcycle is his.
Are you on his side? I'll dismiss your
Your
case.
Honor, I'm not.
You
but-
either have two choices. Either I dismiss your case or you go get the motorcycle. You have a valid contract.
No, I'm just looking for the money
Sorry,
back.
you have a valid contract. Permanently released to you any claim of ownership of this motorcycle. This, in conjunction with an order from me, could be presented to a marshal, and you can go and get the motorcycle. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And there was also a verbal
And the contract,
between
there
the two
can't
of
be
us.
listen to me, I want you to listen to what the law is. The verbal contract cannot be admitted if there is a written contract. You cannot modify a written contract with a verbal one. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Nothing in this piece of paper says that the loan has to be paid on the 17th of the month. It says that you permanently relinquish any claims to ownership of the motorcycle. That's what it says. That's what I'm holding you to. You signed it. We'll prepare the order. Thank you very much. Case is over.
What about the damages done to this bike?
He's
that were
taking
never-
the bike back, sir. He's taking the bike.
This is Paulina. Aku